border crossings for illegal aliens will get a visit today from a large Republican congressional delegation. 60 lawmakers visiting the area for an up-close and personal look at the border chaos. And the Biden administration is fighting in court to keep the southern border wide open in the face of efforts by Texas to secure it.
The Biden administration is asking the Supreme Court to allow Border Patrol agents to cut razor wire that Texas installed on the U.S.-Mexico border while a lawsuit over the wire continues. The Justice Department asking the justices to put on hold last month's appellate ruling in favor of Texas, which forced federal agents to stop cutting the wire the state had installed along roughly 30 miles of the Rio Grande near the border city of Eagle Pass. Large numbers of migrants have crossed there in recent months. John Scott reporting.
What will future generations of Americans have to say about this? National debt hitting yet another record high.
The Treasury Department reports the national debt eclipsed the $34 trillion mark several years sooner than pre-pandemic projections. The Congressional Budget Office's January 2020 projections had gross federal debt eclipsing $34 trillion in fiscal year 2029. But the debt grew faster than expected because of a multi-year pandemic starting in 2020 that shut down much of the U.S. economy. The government borrowed heavily under then-President Donald Trump and during the Biden administration to stabilize the economy and support a recovery. But the rebound came with a surge of inflation that pushed up interest rates and made it more expensive for the government to service its debts. Norman Hall, Washington.
Wall Street futures in the red ahead of this morning's opening bell. The Dow futures down 110 points. NASDAQ futures off 83 and the S&P futures down 17 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hear that? The soothing sounds of a bubble bath. And if you were here, you'd smell a single cedar leaf candle. But you're not here. Because your self-care happens out on the road, riding your motorcycle protected by Progressive. So if you ride, get back on the road and enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance from Progressive, America's #1 motorcycle insurer. And then take a shower, because it's fast, like your motorcycle. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Roadside assistance may require comprehensive coverage. Not available in all states.
The Dinesh D'Souza Podcast, now available on the Salem Podcast Network.
For the left, it's generally you open a door, and then if you notice that no one is pushing back to shut the door, you go right through it, and then you kick in the next door. If we offer no resistance, our past will basically be nothing more than a series of leftist incidents designed to overcome our past.
Subscribe to the Dinesh D'Souza Podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, YouTube, Rumble, or at SalemPodcastNetwork.com.
Thousands out of their homes in earthquake-stricken western Japan, where search and rescue efforts continue. The death toll from the earthquakes is 62.
One
evacuee in Suzu, Kazuo Kobatake, tells the Associated Press, "While barefoot, I quickly came to this school, which is an evacuation center. I escaped to here, but there's no water, no blankets, and of course it's so cold. So that night, on January the 1st, I only slept with a cushion." With his house now flat, Kobatake says he and his wife have nowhere to go. Rescue workers and canine units are searching urgently through rubble ahead of predicted bitter cold and heavy rain. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
South Korean police have raided the home and office of a man who stabbed the country's opposition leader in the neck this week. It happened as the politician was passing through a crowd of journalists after visiting the proposed site of a new airport in the southeast of the country. Townhall.com. Nearly a dozen communities will be getting a recount of the national head count.
11 small cities in Illinois and Iowa have signed agreements with the U.S. Census Bureau for a second count of their residents this year. City officials in those communities say their populations have grown so fast in 3 years that officials believe they are leaving state funding for roads and other items on the table. Some also believe that a new count would open their communities to new businesses by showing they've crossed a population threshold. Bondurant, Iowa was a city of more than 8,700 residents in mid-2022. That's an 18% increase over the 2020 census figure. I'm Donna Warder.
Authorities have arrested a 10-year-old Northern California boy on suspicion of fatally shooting another child with his father's gun. Police say the father is an ex-felon, not supposed to have a gun. He's under arrest along with the child. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Look at that. Already halfway there.
That's right.
Straight up lemon on a pear status.
Right, halfway through the week. It's the first, well, technically not full week because Sunday was last year. So
it's true. Okay, so if you go by the Gregorian way of doing things, Sunday to Saturday is the week.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure in Latin cultures, Monday starts the week because the days of the week, as far as I learned it goes, lunes is first.
Yeah.
You learn Monday first, so Monday is the start of that week. So technically, we're in the first full Mexican week of the new year.
Okay.
That's how I'm gonna gauge it.
All right. That's the world we live in. You don't like it? Change the rules.
Feliz Nuevo Años.
And on that note, enjoy your hot summer day, everybody.
Didn't say anything about south of the equator or nothing.
Well, happy Wednesday of the new year.
Yes.
That we can all agree it is. So. But you know what? Tomorrow there's a chance at moisture. And I was just looking at the weather. We got like a 40% chance at moisture tomorrow. And like they say like before 9 it's snow. But no snow accumulation. So
just
we're going to see some snow.
We're just going to get dusted.
Flurries, and then it might change to rain after 9.
Dude, I encountered every single type of weather between here and Oklahoma City. I mean, I drove through like fog as thick as that fog we had here in Roswell to snow. At one point, it was literally like no snow in any part of the southeastern part of the country.
Yeah.
But I drove through snow. I took pictures of it too, just for evidence,
for historical purposes.
That's right. And but yeah, and then just sunshine and perfect conditions in Oklahoma.
Wow.
Then back to a suck sandwich as soon as I got to Amarillo. It must really stink to live in a town like Amarillo. I mean, they have just the worst weather.
Or at least just when you go through it.
Every time I've gone through it, it has been terrible.
That's why they have big steaks.
Yeah, that's true. You can really ease a lot of hurt with a 72-ounce steak.
That's right. So, I one of these days I'd like to try that.
Would you?
I should have done it 20 years ago when I had a chance of finishing it. But
4 pounds, like 7 ounces of just beef.
Yeah.
Plus the potato.
I don't think I want to do the challenge, like try to eat it all in an hour or whatever that is.
You just want to go get a steak for a week?
I just want to sit down and say, I'll see y'all tomorrow, boys. I'm going to sit here and eat this thing.
What always blows my mind is when you hear about people who do like 2 of them or who complete it in like 5 minutes. I'm like, who created you? Like what happened to you in childhood?
And the bit is like, if you don't finish it, you got to buy it.
Yeah, if you don't finish it within I think it's within an hour.
And I'm guessing it's probably a $200 meal.
A lot of money, yeah. It's one of those things, if you have to ask, you can't afford it.
Yeah, it's probably, how much is this dinner? $350.
Yeah, no, I have made the statement out loud. It's not worth it to me anymore to take me to a buffet.
Yeah.
Like, you won't get your money's worth with me at a buffet anymore, which kind of sucks. Because back in the day, I mean,
You're shutting them down.
I let my daddy down, man. My dad knew how to stack a buffet plate. I'm like, Dad, you know you can come back, right? He would stack it in layers and like sections.
Oh yeah. Well, there's a bit of efficiency you got to go there too, because you it's not all about the number of trips. It's the amount of food per trip you can get in you.
I've always felt it's the number of plates.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, when you go to a restaurant, sit down and you pay a full price, you're getting one plate of food.
Right.
In my mind, if I can get 17 plates of food, even if all those plates only have one thing on them.
Well, problem is normal people, not gluttonous people like ourselves.
Yeah.
Normal people. Sometimes they go and get a plate and put only one thing on it and then go sit down.
Strong shoe.
We to us that's completely foreign.
Well, that's what I'm saying though. Like there's a place in Vegas called I think it's called Wicked Spoon, something like that. But all of the items at the buffet are like one bite to one small portion of them. So you can kind of try a bunch of things.
Right.
That to me is the best way to do a buffet.
Sure, I can see that because that way you get to sample a lot. And in theory, you're not walking out of there like you just literally,
That being said,
but the burst.
I'm not one for a buffet anymore, but I do now have a new pilgrimage to a buffet. I found out about this one it's in Pennsylvania. It's up in the Pennsylvania Dutch country, and it's called the Shady Maple Smorgasbord. It is the it is the largest buffet in America.
Where is this at again?
It's in Pennsylvania. It's,
okay.
Let me see.
I've only eaten at one place called Smorgasbord.
East Earl, Pennsylvania.
Okay. I've only eaten at one place in my life called Smorgasbord. And I left sick.
Yeah?
Well, in all fairness.
Is that because you felt you read the challenge of Smorgasbord?
In all fairness, I'm getting the burps just thinking about this experience.
Tummy rumbling.
Yeah. No. When I was a teenager, when I was in Scouts, we did the trip to Philmont from Maryland, Philmont Scout Ranch in Cimarron, New Mexico. We did that trip, and it was like a 3-day bus trip to and from. Well, on the bus trip to it, we took a northern route. We went through Indianapolis and but on the way back, we took a southern route where we cut through Texas and Oklahoma and somewhere in Texas, Oklahoma. I really don't remember. It was on our way back. It was night one. We stopped at this something smorgasbord, and they literally had a merry-go-round of food that just kept going.
Yeah, open food that moves that doesn't augur well.
And then on top of all that, I had just spent the last 10 days eating nothing but dehydrated food.
Right.
Because I was in the mountains eating out of, backpack, the low impact camping. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is food I don't have to add water to eat. And I went crazy.
Your belly wasn't ready for that.
And I literally did not leave that facility without throwing up in the bathroom.
That's a boot and rally is what that is. You're just making room.
Because you know what I did after that?
Hit the smorgasbord.
I hit the dessert board.
There you go.
Merry-go-round. and me at 50, I'm like, what was wrong with me? At the time, I was like, I'm shutting this down.
It's like on Survivor, dude. You take them out for like chicken tendies on day 17. They're like, you're an amazing human being. These are the greatest things ever. Yeah, you had real food.
People were looking at me like, you're a machine.
Has this boy never eaten? This boy in the neckerchief, has he ever eaten?
Yeah. That was that was the one time I've ever eaten at a place that's called Smorgasbord or had that in the title.
I like how you say it like the Swedish chef too. You're Smorgasbord.
So I know the world.
I got into this conversation last night with somebody how I don't think they even sell them anymore, but do you remember the patio TV dinners, the Mexican?
Oh yeah. The burrito or the enchilada.
The person I was talking to was like, I don't think it's pronounced like that. I think it's pronounced patio. I'm like, where I come from, you're lucky I don't add a Y and call it patio. All right? You want to give me a patio Mexican dinner?
I seem to remember commercials for them.
Yeah, I love those.
And it was like patio burritos, and they always had patio.
Mm-hmm.
And it was something about patio burritos or something about today.
I think it's one of those, if you've been in New Mexico too long, you see a patio and you think tapatio, so you think patio.
Well, I always tell people there's a town in northern New Mexico called La Plata.
Mm-hmm.
Spelled L-A space capital P.
L-A-T-A.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when I grew up in Maryland, I grew up in a town called Waldorf, Maryland.
Right.
Well, 10 miles south, there also was a town called L.A. space, capital P-L-A-T.
Mm-hmm.
We called it La Plata.
Oh, yeah.
That's the name of that town.
That's La Plata.
Where La Plata is over here in New Mexico.
That's right.
Same spelling. La Plata, Maryland is down
You have to soften the tongue the further west you get.
Yeah, so I
La Plata.
I know that. Yeah, it was like, no, it's La Plata.
Tamazula Trambilla.
Yeah. All right, let me give you the rundown for today's show. We're going to replay this hour. Ted Smith with American Legion Post 61 joined us last week. We'll play that interview for you here in a bit. The folks from the Roswell Adult Center will join us in the 8 o'clock hour, give us an update what they've got going on over there. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:15, Andrea Moore with the Roswell Chamber will join us and give us an update on what's new at the Chamber for 2024.
What's on the horizon?
What's going on the calendar as they start a new year like the rest of us here.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll find out from her. And then, of course, we'll have all of your features that include the newses of the local and national variety, your Wall Street business updates, and whatever else we can come up with for today's show. By the way, when I was in Artesia yesterday, I had mentioned the fact about that Jules movie that I haven't seen. And there were several people like, oh, yeah, that's a great movie. I've seen it. Yeah, like 2 or 3 of our sales staff looked at me like
I don't know if that's a ringing endorsement or not. It depends on which of our sales staff was endorsing it.
Well, the one.
Because I know Jamie in some capacity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I assumed.
Yes. And our newest employee
had
already had seen the movie and knew about it as well, too.
Neat.
I feel like there was a third in there, but I can't remember.
Hey, 2's enough.
Yeah.
In that small of a pool, 2's enough.
Yeah. So that's 2. I want to see it. I got to commit, sit down and say, all right, start.
It is worth checking out. There's a couple things I really want to check out. Like, have you seen the trailer for the movie Argyle?
Oh, yeah.
That looks
interesting.
Incredibly interesting.
Yeah.
It's from the dudes that made The Kingsman. And so I'm really curious about what that's about.
Yeah,
Hulu,
I need to pay more attention to it. Like, I've seen it in the background. I was like, what's that? But I didn't see it till like 2/3 of the trip. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't pay attention.
You just caught it when the cat pops up.
Yeah, pay attention when it's. I'm like, all right, I gotta pay more attention to this one.
But yeah, that's what I want to check out.
It looks interesting
in the near future.
Good deal. 7:18. Here's your weather. Whether or not you like it, it's up to you.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're looking good today with high pressure over eastern New Mexico. We'll be in the upper 50s and we should get plenty of sunshine. Some clouds moving in for the overnight hours with low 30s, and then we could get a few showers on Thursday. Gusty wind around 35 miles an hour with a low moving through our area. Temperature will be in the mid 50s, and then we're back to sunny weather on Friday, low to mid 50s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 26 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity's at 81%. Winds are calm at the moment. 58 and sunny for today. Winds will be out of the southeast, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, expect increasing clouds with an overnight low of 34 degrees. South winds 5 to 10. And then tomorrow, we're looking at a 40% chance at precipitation. Slight chance of rain and snow before 9 a.m., then changing over to rain after that. Partly cloudy. High of 48 tomorrow with southeast winds 10 to 15 miles per hour, shifting to the southwest in the afternoon. They don't expect any snow accumulation, though. Little to none if we get snow tomorrow. Partly cloudy tomorrow night, overnight low of 30, west winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Sunny, 52 for you Friday. Winds out of the northwest, 5 to 15. Looking at the weekend, mostly sunny, 49 on Saturday. Sunday, mostly sunny and 56, and then rain chances and snow chances back in Sunday night, Monday, like 20% chances. So we'll see. All right, 7:20, quick break, and then we're going to play our interview with Ted Smith from American Legion Post 61. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Life is better when you can just be. Be yourself. Be worry-free. Be at your best. Now you can be confident knowing the health insurance you find through Be Well & M has you covered for checkups, prescriptions, and more. Be Well & M can help connect you to a plan that may cost as little as $10 a month. It's time for you to be happy, be healthy, be insured. Let Be Well & M connect you to a health plan that's right for you and your wallet so you can just be. Call 1-833-2-BE-WELL or visit BeWellandM.com.
Ring in the new year at your locally owned and operated Big O Tires. Now through January 7th, save up to $140 on select sets of tires after mail-in rebate. Also, take advantage of our Winter Healthy Car Special for just $29.95. The savings won't last, so make an appointment online or visit your local Roswell Big O Tires today. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
Garlic has been around for thousands of years and is one of the world's favorite seasonings. Without garlic, most of our food would be dull and boring, kind of like watching C-SPAN. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. If you like to cook and like to grow things, you ought to try growing your own garlic. Come by Roswell Seed Company and we'll show you how. And next August, you'll have fresh, homegrown garlic to make your food taste great and keep the vampires away.
The inventor of Pringles is buried in a Pringles can. I wonder if they got their hands stuck putting them in there. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 18 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from American Legion Post 61 family, Ted Smith back with us. Good morning, Ted.
Good morning, sir. How are you today?
Good. How's your Christmas and holiday going here?
I'm still recovering.
Still recovering.
Yeah.
What's on your menu for Christmas dinner? Just curious. What do you put on your dinner? What's your go-to?
Well, I just went with ham this year.
Okay.
Mostly because my wife knows that I have gout and it kills me.
So go with prime rib a little bit too. Although beef and meat's probably good. It's the other stuff that gets you.
Yeah, it's
the candied things and all that.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
My thing is, because I had lived in Maryland for a few years when I was in the Army, I got attached to seafood.
Yeah, it happens.
And so I cooked up some lobsters and some shrimp, and then my feet hurt like they were on fire because of gout.
Mm.
This might be the last year I actually eat some seafood for the holidays.
I don't know. That's just wrong. Everyone should be able to eat seafood.
You know, it's a crime against humanity.
It is. My brother hooked me up with some crab from Maryland for Christmas. He got me thanks to the Goldbelly Company. There's a restaurant in Bowie that serves these things called crab bombs, and they're basically crab cakes, but they're big meatball versions of them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Maryland. It's all crab. It's not filler garbage.
That's right.
It's lump crab meat. It's legit. If you want crab, blue crab, Chesapeake Bay blue crab, there is no better way to get it than that crab bomb or crab cake. So.
Amen.
And that's what we had. Now, it came Goldbelly, and I literally had to, the day it came, it said, all right, don't freeze it, and you got to cook it within 1 to 2 days. So we got it like Thursday, and by Friday, we're eating crab bombs. So. And crab bisque, by the way, which was excellent, too.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, that crab. I was a little worried about the crab bisque at first, but once I started heating it up, and it started look like crab bisque again. First, it looked like this putty, and I'm like, oh, but once you heated it up, because it's so creamy and so rich, it congeals into this pudding almost. And once you heat it up, it turns into a nice soup. But
a couple of weeks ago, I was on the East Coast, and I thought about you in passing while I was enjoying a big, thick haddock.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But I'm over that now.
Well, I'm due for a visit to family here, so summertime's the best time. That's crab season. So.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, folks, if you haven't been to Maryland. It is extraordinary.
Well,
it just is. It's mind-blowingly good.
Yeah, it's seafood. That's why I'm spoiled. That's why I'm a little snobby on that stuff, because I grew up, in my opinion, the best place to eat it on the planet. So.
Yeah, but and I'm not a Maryland guy. You know? If there was something,
Maryland's got a lot of problems. It's a hot mess of a state, but seafood ain't one of them.
Do you know what the state sport is in Maryland?
Jousting.
Yeah, how about that, everybody?
Yeah, I knew that. And it's different than the jousting you think of. They don't put on they don't hit each other. Like they'll put on the suits of armor and everything, but they have a little ring that's probably about the size of a shower curtain ring.
All the way down to it.
And yeah, and basically they get the lance through the ring. That's kind of how that's how they celebrate the official sport of jousting. But that is the Maryland sport. The bird is the Baltimore Oriole. The flower is the black-eyed Susan. I had to learn these things in school.
Yeah,
Maryland, my Maryland is the state song. However, we're talking about American Legion. You got me sidetracked with Krabby.
I'm sorry.
That'll get me every time.
Me too. I mean, that stuff is that good.
First thing I'd like to do is thank everyone that participated in Wreaths Across America with us. We had just over 200 wreaths that we gave or placed on graves at Memory Lawn Cemetery and downtown here at the Veterans. I think a few went over to South Park as well, too. I know Post 28 was covering some of South Park there. But thank you to everyone that participated in that. By the way, that's a year-round thing. So if you missed for this year, you can go to our website right now and purchase wreaths for Wreaths Across America that will go towards next year. We have our window still open. Go to roswelllegion.org, and right in the middle, there's a thing about Wreaths Across America. You click that goes to our wreath page, and you can purchase wreaths through that. You can have them dedicated to a particular loved one or anything if you want to, have a special message. They do all that. But if you do it now, it's going to count for 2024 here. So, but you can go there now, and I'll catch you while it's fresh in your brains because you're thinking about it. But that will be open all year. So if you want to go in July and do it, and I'll remind you from time to time, because it's Christmas. But if you'd like to get involved with that, it's a great way. Basically, what we do, if you're not familiar with Wreaths Across America, it's an organization that veterans actually make these wreaths. It's a veterans-run veteran organization. They make these Christmas wreaths. So they give these veterans these jobs doing the wreaths. Then, on top of that, the money that they sell and generate go to scholarships and other veteran-related causes and things. So they'll help with families of veterans to help get kids through college and all kinds of stuff they do with it. So that's where the money goes when you pay $17 for a wreath. Part of it goes to the cost of making the wreath and putting the wreath, and the rest go to support veterans. So it's a big win there. So you can do that anytime. So I'm going to remind you from time to time to go there and do that. So, and that way, instead of having 200, maybe we have 400 wreaths to go put out. Because I'm going to tell you right now, 200's a great number and a lot. It's not nearly enough. There are veterans that don't get markers because we don't have enough wreaths. So, make it so we're like, I don't know what to do with all these wreaths. We got extra wreaths, but all the graves that would be an amazing problem to have.
Yeah, it would.
And we would be very appreciative if you help us get to that goal. So, but again, roswelllegion.org is the website. You can go there and do that. So, good deal.
Okay, we're a 4 pillars post.
Yes.
The 4 pillars of the American Legion. I'm sorry.
Everyone's got a case of that. It's just, 'tis the season. I'd have it too. So.
Yeah, the first pillar is Veterans Affairs and Rehabilitation. And, we're part of a big family of organizations. The Disabled American Veterans, AMVETS, and Veterans of Foreign War, Military Officers Association, Non-Commissioned Officers Association, Reserve Officers Association, name it. They're more than you can count.
And a lot of acronyms.
Lots and lots.
DAV, keep going.
So that's the first pillar. The second one's national security. The Legion pays attention to what Congress is spending on national security and whether or not it's worthwhile.
And we share opinions on that from time to time because guess what? Veterans did things in the military, which means they have experience, which means the things that they're talking about, they know a thing or two about because that's what they did for a living for a little bit. So anyway.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The third one is Americanism. There are a lot of folks who misunderstand what that means. We're not talking about the hyper right-wing guys or anything like that. We're thrilled no matter what your beliefs are and what your parties are, so long as everyone's playing fair and following the process. The founding fathers set it up so we take turns.
Yeah.
And that's fantastic. Think
Absolutely.
about it. You know, we don't fight it out with guns. We fight it out at the voting booth.
Mm-hmm.
And so long as that's happening, everything is fine. And that's, people forget that in these days when everyone's polarized.
Well, that's the beauty of the Constitution and the amendments, the Bill of Rights. That's that's why it makes it such an amazing, one of the most amazing documents that human history has ever put out there, because of what you're talking about there. It sets the rules for how we run this nation, and it gives a caveat to allow us to adjust it as needed for time. You know, that's where those Bill of Rights and the amendments, you know, those things like the rights to vote and who can vote, all those were amendments later added to our United States Constitution, and that's what makes that document so great. Is if there's things that aren't addressed in there, we can amend it to make it as such. And
you know, Congress has recommended 33 amendments over the years. 27 have been approved, and they have to be approved by the states. That means the people. Fantastic. I'm going to quote from you a little bit out of an article from the American Legion Weekly 100 years ago.
All right.
1923.
And just as relevant today as it was 100 years ago, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's amazing. The guy starts off by saying that the English Prime Minister, Mr. Gladstone, had pronounced the U.S. Constitution as the greatest document ever stricken off at a given time by the mind of man. Think about that. That's the English folks who were kind of resentful to us.
There's a whole reason we wrote that. It was because of them, you know.
Right. Right. On our shores, we set up these checks and balances that other people hadn't set up before. And it set up a government that should be responsive to popular opinion, but not the mob. Big difference between an outburst at one time and the saner thoughts of everybody together. Okay.
That's that whole checks and balances thing. That's why we scream at the top of our lungs about, you know, everyone getting a say in the room here, because that's when you don't, that's when you start breaking down those things.
And that's what this article's about. The American Legion celebrates anytime somebody amends the Constitution or doesn't, because that means the process is working. Okay. This is the one time the Legion came on board and expressed some deep concerns about an amendment that people were coming up with.
Okay.
And this amendment did not actually get to the floor and get out because right-thinking folks like the Legion thought it through.
The checks came in to balance things.
Bingo. And it was about checks and balances, this particular amendment. Some folks came up with the idea in 1923 that since the Supreme Court only had 9 members, that somehow or another they could have a tie.
I'm not a math wizard.
Me either.
But I did learn that if you have an odd number, there's no way you can have a tie.
Right.
Unless you can somehow split someone in half, which we can in math, but not in people.
But if one person wasn't available to vote, you could have it split.
I guess in theory, yeah, if you have an 8 and 8 or 4 and 4 rather.
So the idea is that it would give Congress the right to pass on the constitutionality of its own laws.
Wow.
By making Congress the final arbiter when the votes of the justices is 5-4 or 6-3. That was what they were heading for. And the folks at Legion sat down and thought it through and thought, wait a minute. The point of the judiciary,
right,
the Supreme Court, is to rule on the constitutionality of Congress's laws.
It's kind of like giving the inmates the keys to the prison.
Right. So they came online and said, whoa, wait. Now, this is one of the rare times that Legion has been overtly political. And I'm not sure that's really political.
No,
it's about the process.
That's an Americanism thing, that we have rules in America and you're trying to violate them. Therefore, we're going to say something about that.
Right, and this was a major thing. By the way, the last amendment that was changed was one of the original Bills of Rights, the 10. This was one that didn't get enough votes. And it finally got enough votes now. And what it was is rules concerning Congress providing pay raises to themselves. They set it up so that you can't vote on your own pay raise. It has to have come before you went in.
Right.
And that was an original item to keep people from enriching themselves.
Well, that's a
on
smart
office.
one. That's a smart
Right. And so there have been congressmen have been waiting the entire time we've been a nation trying to get this one through. That'll be the honest congressmen.
Yeah.
Who aren't trying to make money.
Well, let's see if we can get them on term limits next.
How about that? And the fourth pillar is children and youth. Legion does what amounts to civics classes. Pretty much talking about what I'm talking about, what we're talking about.
Well, and to be honest, this is kind of like our post 61. We support and sponsor a Cub Scout and Boy Scout troop. And that's kind of part of that pillar. That because, yes, we're, the scouts run the meetings and do everything, but guess what they teach in Boy Scouts? A lot of the same things we're talking about here with Americanism and you know what I mean?
It's about fair play.
Yeah. There's a lot of principles in scouting that line up with the pillars of the American Legion. So it's kind of a nice, so part of our extension of that last pillar you're talking about is supporting scout troops and things like that. That's part of what we do to support that. So.
Yeah. The Legion is definitely not a political party. It's wrong to even class the Legion among conservatives. The Legion is very neutral.
Yeah.
It's about the entire process.
And
so long as it's being handled by our votes collectively, all of us in America, then everything's fine.
And the members of the American Legion are just like the members of the country. You got everything. You've got very conservative ones. You got very liberal ones. You got the ones in the middle there. And so like the United States of America, the American Legion's makeup is very similar. It's very eclectic. It's very diverse. And therefore, and here's the other thing, too, is when we talk about all the veteran organizations, and there's VFW, there's a lot of great organizations that do anything. But at the end of the day, and I know I say that a lot, I'm going to tack that on here, American Legion is the only one that is authorized and sanctioned by the United States Congress, which means we step to the head of the line when it comes to their ear. When it comes to veterans' rights and veterans' things, they have to let us in the room because we're their product of their children. We're their child. We're a product of him. So they've got to listen to us. They've got to so we make more headway, whereas other organizations can't because we're Congress's stepchild here.
Oh, very much so. We have our annual report to Congress.
Yeah.
We report to Congress.
Yeah, but say we got with that comes duties and responsibilities and things that we have to meet to do that, or we get in trouble as a Legion. But yes, but when it does come time to like what you're talking about earlier, when we have to step in and say something, it carries a little bit more weight just because of who authorized us and where we came from. Just something piece of information there for you.
Right. The 20s was a time when people were pushing a lot of amendments through, like that one about no alcohol, and then they pushed that other one through saying that was a bad idea. But the beauty is they could do it and reverse it. It's a beautiful thing when voting happens and people participate.
Absolutely. Well, and it's history. This is why I'm always such a supporter of history and telling people to study and read and understand history, because you want to know what's coming next, or you want to get an idea of what's coming next. It's already happened. It's in history. You want to see the world we live in now. Go study pre-World War II, pre-Civil War. So if you some of the 20, 30 years leading up to World War II and Civil War and things, you're going to find a lot of similarities in what's going on politically versus what was going on back then.
Yeah,
it's
politicized presses.
Absolutely,
just brainwashed.
Absolutely, this is not new. What we're seeing, this is stuff that's been the technology has changed the way and we do it and how it's presented. But this has been going on long before you and I were put on this earth.
Oh yeah. Like this thing from 1923. Recently we've had people talking about changing the number of justices in the Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
Well, really? Let's read the Constitution before we start talking that kind of thing.
Yeah,
And be sure we're doing it right.
Well,
If you are, if it's right and it's needed, and the public will tell us.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's not senator or congressperson that's gonna. It's we the people. This is why term limits. I'm gonna take a stab here, and I'm gonna say the majority of Americans probably want to see term limits on our Congress people. I'm gonna say. And I don't care what side of the fence you are. I'm going to say if you polled most Americans, I'm going to say overwhelmingly they're going to say we should have term limits. At some point, Congress is going to have to answer to that. And that's why I'm one of those people, regardless of who you vote for, Democrat, Republican, whoever that person is, you ask them, how do you feel about term limits? And they better tell you support them, because I don't care if you're Democrat or Republican, that's the way of the future. And that's what we got to do next. That's just me getting political here.
I know, but when I was in college, I read a textbook, and the author suggested that if we really wanted to see more democratic behavior in our Congress, that maybe 50% of them should be brought in by lot. And you would get a true cross-section.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be interesting if everyone had to go to Congress school for 90 days and then take their seat.
Well, and because there's a lot going on, because in theory they're saying, well, each district has a representative and all that, but what's going on, and you see it right here in our own backyard, is like, okay, well, we're going to move the lines to make it seem that, to get the population so we can get our representation that way. And so these are all, and this is not new tactics. These same tactics were the tactics they used 20, 30, 100 years ago to achieve these same things. We just didn't have the internet or TV or phone or any of these ways to tell you about it the second it happened.
Longer than that. People were wearing powdered wigs when they were acting that way.
Oh, yeah. Put it this way. As long as two humans were storing some form of government, this was going on. I'm telling you right now. And this is kind of getting back to what you're talking about, kind of full circle in here in the beginning, the Constitution and everything. That's the thing, is this form of government was a new thing. It's what we do and what we celebrate was not something that countries of the world did back in that time. There was feudal systems or monarchies, or, we the people was not a thing. It was we the royalty, or we the power that be will determine what we the people need. And this was that first time where it's like, no, we're not going to dictate who your God is. We're not going to dictate, what your profession is. We're not going to dictate how you live. We're not going, that's what this country was, because in Europe, these people were told, you're a member of England, you got to be a member of the Church of England. You don't get a say on what God you worship. You don't get to, and that's still the case in some of these places and things like that.
Very much. There are countries with state religions.
You get in a place, God forbid, we talk about Russia and China, you don't get that, like during COVID, you see all these Chinese families and people living in boxes because of COVID. I'm sorry. Yeah. You don't realize that was all mandated. Military were grounding people up and putting them in boxes, things like that. You didn't see all that on the news here, but you try that here, and that's not going to go. I'm telling you, this is why America is so great. You don't realize how good you have it until you go to someplace else. That's why military people, because most of us have spent some time sitting in the sandbox somewhere or sitting at some third world place.
Well, even countries that call themselves civilized.
Yeah, exactly. And life is different. And you're like, wow, I can't believe they put up with this. And it's like, that's what they know. You don't get it. And I'm not trying to, but that's why we laugh when we see things like homosexuals for Palestine, because you have no clue what Palestine represents and what they're after. And I guarantee you, they do not support homosexuals. I mean, you can believe and write whatever you want here, but if you went and did what you do here over in Palestine, you would no longer be smelling the daisies. You'd be gone. You'd be disappeared. You'd be done.
Yeah.
And nobody would say a word about you or wonder what happened. And that's the reality of why this country's great. The rest of the world is something. At the end of the day,
It's not because of who or what we are.
Yeah.
It's because of what we can be.
Yes.
And the fact that we can change and become
absolutely
what we want to be and be better, and not be tied up in class systems, like you said. We can't fathom a culture where your father's career is what you have to follow, and you have no choice. Period.
Yeah.
No social, mobility.
And to be honest, this is when people say things like, well, we should just make everybody do this. And it's like, yeah, that's the mindset that turned you into Russia. That's the mindset that, or Soviet Union, I should say. Well, Russia too, for that matter. What am I talking about? Yeah. And China and these dictatorships or communist regimes. That's just, that's the nature. I mean, the biggest example I ever see on the difference between communism and capitalism is Korea.
Oh goodness!
Go look at just even the simple little things like a night picture, like an aerial satellite photo night picture of Korea. North Korea is dark. South Korea is lit up and everything, and that's because there's capitalism. There's people pushing the envelope towards technology and growth and trying to make happy things. Where communism, that's not their jam. That's not what they do. And then you look at North Korea, and it looks like something. Look at Korea or Cuba. Why do you think Cuba still has? They're driving cars from the 50s, and because communism does not. That's communism. They literally freeze in time, and they everyone's equal. And people are getting power, but it ain't you. It's someone else.
Too much government tends to do things,
but
to slow things up. And
I know I got way off on a tangent here, but this is at the gist of why this country's great. And and this is back to that patriotism. Yeah, wearing an American flag, everything, and standing out and doing all that's. I don't know if I'd call that patriotism. I mean, I get it. You love your country and all that too, but. Actually, from military perspective, all you folks wearing American flag shirts and all that stuff, you're actually disrespecting the flag. But that's another story for another day. But
and it happens to be a felony.
but and that's what and being an American really is, when it's time to question. When it's but being living and doing the things you want to do without impeding on someone else's freedoms, that's what this country is about. As long as your freedoms and your dreams don't negatively impact someone else to present them to do them, then you should be able to do that in this country. And that's the platform that they try to set up here. It's kind of where the government needs to set the table to allow people to do their dreams and just not only get in the way when it gets to a point that they're monopolizing or doing something that inhibits someone else. And the devil's in the details and all that, but that's where communism versus capitalism starts muddying into things, where, the people that are going to let you do more to do what you want are leaning towards capitalism. The ones that are going to be like, yeah, you can do it, but only if you got 12 credits to do this and that and all these other things, that's when you start leaning into socialist and communist type government.
And that comes with overregulation, no doubt about it. I talked to an American doctor who married a lady from Switzerland, and he went over and lived there for a while, and he got a $50 ticket for putting his trash out on the wrong day.
Yeah, see, that's that. And to be honest, there's cities in this country that are getting like that. You know what I mean? That's what
for putting your trash out on the wrong day.
And then and again, that's the
he
point.
was leaving town.
Yeah,
and he put it out a day in advance, and got hauled before the local magistrate and had to pay a $50 fine.
Yeah. See, that's the kind of nonsense.
There's no freedom in that canton in Switzerland.
Yeah.
If they regulate you that much.
Exactly.
You see, the difference between them and us is we can change that without having a revolution.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you gotta basically dethrone the powers that be to do it.
Right.
Whereas we have a constitution that allows us to vote in those people. So again, that's why I always, when it comes election time, your vote is never wasted. It's always that's your power. That is your most powerful tool you have as an American citizen to affect change the way you like to see it. And so take it seriously and do all that. I know we got way off on a tangent here, but we got about 10 minutes where we gotta go. 5-10 minutes here. But
we need members.
We'd love to, if you're a veteran or a spouse of a veteran. We have our American Legion Post 61 family. We have 3 different branches of our family. We have our Legionnaires, which are they're the ones that are the veterans that served. We have our auxiliary, and those are the spouses of the veterans. By the way, it can be men. I know, veterans are women. We have several women, female veterans. We have 1 or 2 male auxiliary members. So there's no rules on that one. There's only one division that does have a gender rule. That's our sons. And that's our 3rd branch, the Sons of American Legion. And you have to be a son, male descendant of a veteran, whether it's your grandparent, grandfather, or grandmother, or mother or father. But you have to be the male descendant of a veteran.
I qualify for all 3.
I do too. Yeah. My dad was a veteran. My grandfather was a veteran. I'm a veteran. And, well, I don't qualify for auxiliary. He's not a veteran, so I can't be auxiliary. So 2 of the 3. So good deal. But we'd love to have you. We meet on the first Thursday of every month. We actually pretty much meet every Thursday at the First United Methodist Church. Every Thursday night about 5:36, they usually get together. Our auxiliary usually has craft projects. They're working on either Charity Bears or Quilts for Valor or one of our various other projects they got going on. But the first Thursday of every month, we meet at 6 p.m. Our Legionnaires and our auxiliary and sons all meet there at the First United Methodist Church, 6 p.m. So it won't be, I guess it'll be next Thursday, huh? I think, sure enough, I think next Thursday is our first. So it'll be next Thursday. We invite you to come on out to our meeting here and join us. So, and if you want to get involved, we're always looking for more volunteers to serve and to help out here. And yes, we are serve as far as we like to get in and do our thing, but we're a social group too. We like to hang out and
they're actually kind of fun guys.
Yeah. We don't do the bar thing, but that's just us. If you do American Legion Post 28, they've got their own post with a bar and everything. So if that's your scene, then I highly recommend you go check them out. But we don't do all that there, and so if that's something you're not, because I know some people are like, no, I don't want to do the drinking and all that. Okay, we don't. That's not our post. So, but, is there anything we missed? Anything else we need to get? I know I got windbaggy and soapboxy and all that, but
no.
Anything we missed? Oh, a thing to put on people's radar. Getting back to that education side. In February, and we'll be back to tell more about it, but the end of February, that last Sunday in February, I don't remember the date off the top of my head.
4 chaplains, right?
Yes, our 4 chaplain ceremony. This is a ceremony we do every year. I've talked about it on this show multiple times, but it is the story of the USS Dorchester and the sinking of the Dorchester, and 4 military chaplains that went down with the ship and saved the lives of 100-plus crew members by calmly getting people, praying, getting people off the ship, giving up their own life jackets and their own equipment to other sailors so that they could survive, while these 4 chaplains literally died doing their duty. And so because of the weirdness of the time frame of that particular incident versus they didn't qualify for the Medal of Honor, because technically it wasn't officially in wartime yet or something. I don't know all the details there, but for whatever reason, they do not qualify for the Medal of Honor. Does not mean they're not worthy of it. They are, but they get the other distinguished medals. But we do this to honor their sacrifice and their, that story is the epitome of military and the life of and the brotherhood and what it all means. And so every February, around the time of the incident, the Dorchester incident that took place in February, we do
the North Atlantic.
Yes, in the North Atlantic. So we do this ceremony.
45 minutes was how long you were expected to survive in the water.
Yeah. Good luck with that. At frigid temperatures and things like that. Think of this as like a military version of a Titanic kind of thing.
Yeah.
But all hands would have been lost had it not been for these four chaplains, and people got to go home from that incident because of those 4 chaplains. So we tell that story, and as we get closer, we'll do the story. It'll be at First United Methodist Church that last Sunday of February there at 3 p.m. But I know people got 20 things on their radar right now, but put that bee in your bonnet. We would love to invite you to come out and be a part of that. That's the one thing that makes me mad. and I say mad, and that's not the right word, disappointed. I talk about that thing, and I want to get people, and every year we only get a handful of people that come to it. Because it's a free event. It's about 40 minutes, and let's face it, there's no flames or explosions or nothing. So.
Well, it's kind of a gloomy subject, isn't it?
Yeah, and it is dealing with a very somber occasion. But I think it's a story that every American should know. So
I agree with that very much.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how many communities in America have this. I was invited to one once.
If they have a pretty active Legion post in town, they probably have that ceremony somewhere.
Yeah, and these guys weren't.
Yeah.
They were just part of the three chaplains?
Okay.
Association.
Okay. Matter of fact, if you go to our VA facility in Albuquerque, they've got a amazing artwork piece on the four chaplains there in the lobby there. It's a beautiful piece of art there. So if you ever have a hankering to go down there to do that. So good deal. But I just saw the time. We probably should wrap this up. Is there anything, Ted? We
didn't talk about split pea soup. Do you have an Instant Pot at home?
We do. We do have an Instant Pot at home.
I've got an Instant Pot recipe for split pea soup.
If you send it to me, I'd be ever grateful, because that's top 5 favorite soups is split pea.
Yeah.
We do have a little ham right now. We got a ham bone sitting in a refrigerator, just hankering for something to do with it.
My mom's Dutch, and they're raised on it.
I love split pea. Clam chowder, New England, not Manhattan. Split pea soup. Those are my top 2 seeds, probably. I love a good chicken corn chowder too.
Ooh. There's something to be said for that.
Yeah. Chicken and dumplings is pretty good. Yeah, but I'm a soup guy. But split pea and New England clam chowder, those are my top seeds right there. Cream of crab, of course.
But of course, yeah.
Of course, most people don't do that around here. But I think we talked about that. That was my time in the Air Force. I've had more bowls of split pea and ham soup, because that was kind of the go-to. Like if there wasn't really anything going on at the chow hall, they always had the things of soup sitting there.
Yeah.
And there's always split pea with ham. I'm like, oh, what is that thing? I don't know. We're going with the soup.
The way a lot of ex-military guys can't stand Spam. I'm not one of them, but ex-military Germans can't stand split pea soup because they get lots of that.
Is that their version of SOS?
It's even worse. It's in their field rations.
Oh, wow.
Just add water.
Oh, yummy. I'm sure that's a delight.
Oh, coming from a factory?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, it's like green water with, oh, gosh.
Yeah.
I got to stop thinking of that, because I won't like split pea if I think of that version. So, but thank you, Ted. As always, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Happy New Year to you and your family. And we look forward to seeing you here in 2024.
Hoorah. There I was.
Yeah.
Thanks again, Mike.
Anytime. Appreciate it, Ted. Take care.
Ugh.
All right. It is 9:55. Let's do a quick break before news. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Technology plagues our businesses, schools, and healthcare environments. DSI Document Solutions has emerged as New Mexico's safeguard from the pains of slowed productivity. Providing our nation's top business technology, workflow strategies, and support, DSI is here to boost your productivity and reduce your costs. Get ready for success. Visit our new website at dsinm.com.
It's time for the Chaves County Sports Report. Yesterday, we caught you up a little bit on girls basketball from the holiday tournament in Roswell, between Christmas and New Year's. And what about the Poe Corn? Well, no Roswell teams in the championship game. The championship was won by Clovis, but Roswell did win the third-place game by a score of 79-31 to move to 8-5 on the season. The Coyotes beat Kirtland Central in that game. Just to recap, they had defeated Piedra Vista in the first round, then lost to El Dorado in the semifinals. Piedra Vista would come up later in the tournament for the Goddard Rockets, and in a good way, because Goddard finally got its first victory of the season over Piedra Vista in the 7th place game. That was on Friday by a score of 40-38. Goddard back in action tomorrow night against Gadsden at 6:30. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
Your home for Armed American Radio is 106.5 FM, KEND Roswell.
In what Iranian state media call a terroristic attack, 2 explosions minutes apart have killed 103 people and wounded 141 others. It happened about 500 miles southeast of Tehran, and a ceremony honoring a prominent Iranian general who was killed by a U.S. airstrike in 2020. A drone found its target in Beirut, taking out a senior Hamas official. The group's second-ranking political leader died in the drone strike on a building in a Shiite neighborhood of Beirut that's a Hezbollah stronghold. Frigid weather settling in across earthquake-ravaged western Japan, where the BBC's Gene McKenzie says a search for survivors amid the rubble goes on.
Japan is reeling from this tragedy. The earthquake, which was the strongest to hit the country in 12 years, has severed the roads here, cutting off the towns that most need help, where people are still trapped under the rubble. In one town, Suzu, on the northern tip of this peninsula, the mayor says there are almost no houses still standing. Thousands of people are still without water and electricity. And heavy rain today means authorities are warning there could now be landslides alongside aftershocks.
The quakes killed at least 73 people. Former President Trump's legal team is appealing the Maine Secretary of State's ruling barring Mr. Trump from the primary ballot. The Trump team is appealing to the Maine Superior Court. The former president also vowing to appeal a similar ballot ban by the Colorado Supreme Court. Democrat Senator Bob Menendez of New Jersey facing a new set of federal charges, accused of taking bribes to help the government of Qatar. That's on top of similar allegations involving the government of Egypt. Stocks in the red on Wall Street. The Dow is down 170 points. The Nasdaq off 90 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Warren Buffett tops a list of wealthy charitable givers in 2023.
The Chronicle of Philanthropy's annual list of the biggest charitable donations from individuals or their foundations totals more than $3.5 billion. 8 donors are multi-billionaires. Their combined net worth is more than $305 billion. Warren Buffett gave 1.5 million shares of Berkshire Hathaway Class B stock, valued at $541 million, to the Susan Thompson Buffett Foundation, named for his first wife, who died in 2004. It manages the family's charitable giving and primarily backs women's reproductive health. 4 universities received big gifts in 2023, along with 4 scientific research institutes and a healthcare system. I'm Ed Donahue.
Thousands of doctors have walked off the job in Britain, the start of a 6-day strike set to be the longest in the history of the state-funded National Health Service. Tens of thousands of scheduled appointments and operations to be canceled. Townhall.com. It is a dubious honor for Air Canada.
Canada's largest carrier had the worst on-time performance among large airlines in North America in 2023. According to a report from Cirium, the aviation analytics company, Canada's flag-carrying airline landed 63% of its flights on time last year, placing it last among the continent's 10 largest airlines. That means roughly 140,000 planes arrived at the gate more than 15 minutes after scheduled arrival. Delta Airlines led the list for the most on-time airline in North America, with its over 1.6 million flights arriving on time 85% of the time. Keith Peters reporting.
Harvard University President Claudine Gay has resigned. The resignation comes amid plagiarism allegations and criticism over congressional testimony. She will, however, remain on the Harvard faculty with no cut in pay. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Deuce.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy middle of the week, everybody.
Already.
Yeah, we're already Wednesday. You started your week yesterday. Now we're already in the middle of it.
What a slog it's been, too.
The beauty of a 4-day work week.
I'm still waiting to see how long it's, or how many times I can use that dad joke of, I haven't seen you since last year.
That's right. You got the rest this week.
The rest of yeah. After that, it's just too cringe.
Then you put it to bed. Yeah. There was a dad joke I heard last night. It was pretty good, but I don't remember it now. Oh, dang. It was on TV. I can't remember what it was.
If it was on network TV, I guarantee it was a dad joke.
No. Was I watching network TV? Yeah, I was. Yeah, because last night I watched the season 2 of Night Court premiered last night. So I watched that, and then there's another new show with John Cryer on NBC.
I saw that. It's
and the second episode was on last night. I watched it.
Which feels real 2.5 mini, but also like
it kind of is 2.5. It's a different version of it. Instead, now this time, John Cryer is the ex-husband, while he's still living with the ex-wife and her new.
He just makes
fiance/boyfriend.
He makes such a good house guest.
Who, by the way, happens to own the Boston Celtics. He's what's his name? I can't remember actors' names, but the guy from Scrubs.
Zach Braff?
No, the other one.
Donald Faison.
Yeah. Okay. No, the other one.
Black Scrubs.
Yes, him. He plays the other guy. That's the.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
It's good to see the boys getting work.
Yeah. Well, it's similar in that the plot, but it's not written. It's not a the guy that did Big Bang Theory and all those. It's not one of his, so it doesn't look. So it's not written like
it doesn't have that same flow.
Yeah, it looks more like an NBC sitcom as opposed to what you see on CBS or.
I'm impressed. Night Court was able to pull off a
apparently it did well ratings. Like the commercials for it kept saying that our number one newest comedy. So I'm assuming it did well in the ratings.
I gotta go and watch season 1 because I didn't really give it a shot because reboot sitcoms have just this weird tinge on them. Like I didn't like the Roseanne reboot.
Yeah, well, and then
even the Connors.
Well, it really went off the rails when Roseanne was fired.
Right, but even in that first season back, it didn't have that same feel to it. Same thing with like Fuller House or any of those reboot sitcoms. It has this weird like cloud over it.
Yeah. I will say this about the Night Court one. Had it not been for John LaRoquette coming back, I don't think I'd care.
Well, there'd be no tie-in. Well, basically, outside of that.
Well, the whole spin of the show is Roush, whatever her name is.
Yeah, Melissa Roush.
Yeah, she is the daughter
of Harry Hamlin's
the Harry Anderson, the judge. And so that's the connection, and she convinces John LaRoquette to come out of retirement to help her out. Well, spoiler alert, at the end of last season and in the first episode of this season, Marsha Warfield did a cameo.
Oh, okay.
She was in the original cast,
Right.
too, as the other bailiff not named Bull.
Right. Right. I realize why I pulled Harry Hamlin out of thin air.
Yeah.
There's a show on, I don't know if it's Hulu or one of the streamers. It's Anne Rice's Mayweather Witches.
Okay.
I believe. I watched like an episode and a half of it yesterday, and he's one of the characters in that show. It's if you like Anne Rice stuff, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are. I'm not a.
I wasn't before, like originally, like a long time or a few years ago, but I've started sort of like dipping a toe into kind of that
The
genre.
books or the movies?
Mostly the movies. I'm not a huge reader unless it's like audio books. I don't know. I just don't like to flip pages.
I feel like you're a guy that would be into reading.
Oh, I read
You're a collector
plenty.
of information.
Yo, sure, I read plenty. I just read it, through a screen.
Yeah.
Well,
that's a lot of people nowadays.
Yeah.
But something about the feel of a book is just.
All right, Granddad.
No, I get
There's
it.
something about when you have just a book in your hands.
Well,
I agree. I will say that.
I like to read.
I'm also a father. Most of the books I see these days have pictures in them.
And in all fairness, I haven't had chances to actually pick up books either recently because these things distract me with everything else. But I remember having a Kindle and reading that way, and it's not the same. It just, it's handy and it's convenient because you're like, ooh, I bought a book in the series. Now I don't have to wait. I could just order it right now and then start reading it. That's all awesome. But I don't know. Something about folding the pages and seeing, ooh, I got this much left. I'm almost done.
I like the idea of having a book read to me, like while I'm, on the road or something.
Yeah.
When I was going through a tougher time, all the self-help books I read were through today's sponsor, Audible.
I'm hit or miss
really,
with
not a sponsor.
audiobooks. Like, if it's done well, I can get well into it. But sometimes the way they read it and stuff, it just doesn't. Like, I could follow it and be more into it better if I read it myself versus listening to their voice dictate it.
So let me tell you how I experience. So the Left Behind book series?
Yes.
Okay. So the way I experienced that book series was not by I read like the first 3. But then I found out about this thing called dramatic audio.
Okay.
They put out the whole series in these series of, cassette tapes, children. But it told the story, but it was dramatic audio. So like you'd hear the conversations between like, the main characters. I think Hattie and Ray Steele and all that. But you'd hear the main characters' conversations. And like you'd hear the actions happen. It was basically a radio play.
Yeah, and those are good when they do it. Like there was a Dan Brown. Which he does like military and those kind of. It was one of his books that I checked out the audiobook at the library, and that one I liked because the female characters had a female voice that were doing the voices. There was male voices. There wasn't full like radio play sound effects, but on occasion they would slip in a little something.
Here, and then there's another one, and Guest is here, so I gotta wrap. But there's another one, and this is probably going to trigger some nostalgic feels for people. When I was a kid, they had this radio play series called Adventures in Odyssey. I think it might even still be around. It was a Focus on the Family thing. It was a Christian thing, but the cassettes also were just that dramatic radio play, and I was hooked on those when I was a kid because it was all the different characters. You finally got to put a voice to these people you've read about, read in books.
Like I've had both. I've had very good experiences with audio, and I've had bad ones where I'm like, I can't. 5 minutes into them, like I can't follow it. I'm not into this. The subject seems neat, but the voice is very monotone. It is it just does not resonate with me.
You can't just sit and listen though. You got to be like I have to be actively doing something while I'm listening.
Well, I don't sit down and decide I'm going to listen to an audiobook today. It's always when I'm in the car or doing something else where I want something to entertain my brain in the background, kind of that kind of thing. Right. So, and then what my wife is into versus what I'm into is not the same. So like on road trips, we're like, all right, I gotta, cause like on occasion I would do, that's when I do podcasts. That's like the Serial series. If there's a new one of those, I'm like, usually those are pretty good for road because they kind of drag you into a mystery, so to speak. It's like watching 48 hours for 12 hours straight on one story.
I'll tell you what really helps with that. Divorce. You can listen to whatever you want. Turns out.
Well, sometimes. But sometimes I find things
I'm joking, Kim. I'm totally joking. I know it's the winter break. She's listening right now. I'm joking, totally joking.
You punch him out.
The views expressed by Sean Smalls do not reflect those of Mornings with Mike Winters.
You can punch him out. No matter none to me. We do have the folks from the Adult Center here to join us here to give us an update on all the different events and things they've got going on. So we'll get that going here in just a few. Before we do that, let's take a look at your weather, which is like a chance of snow, but it's not going to stick. And then there's rain later. So it's one of those weeks. But here's your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're looking good today with high pressure over eastern New Mexico. We'll be in the upper 50s and we should get plenty of sunshine. Some clouds moving in for the overnight hours with low 30s, and then we could get a few showers on Thursday. Gusty wind around 35 miles an hour with a low moving through our area. Temperature will be in the mid 50s, and then we're back to sunny weather on Friday, low to mid 50s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 30 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 72%. Winds currently out of the northwest at 5 miles per hour. Sunny today. Expect a high of 58 degrees. Winds will be out of the, light and variable winds out of the southeast. So that's what we're looking at, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, expect increasing clouds with an overnight low of 34 degrees. Southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow, we are looking at a 40% chance of precipitation. Could see a little rain, a little snow. Good news is they're not expecting any kind of accumulation. So don't worry about that. Don't worry, kids, you're off this week. So you don't need the snow day. But there is a 40% chance that we could see some rain and snow before 8 a.m., then it just being rain. Cloudy, gradually becoming mostly sunny as the day progresses. Highs only expected to hit 48 tomorrow. Winds will be out of the southeast, 10 to 15 miles per hour. And like I said, little to no snow accumulations expected tomorrow. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, overnight low of 30. West winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. For your Friday, sunny skies, 52 for a high. Northwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. And looking at the weekend, mostly sunny, high of 49 for Saturday. Mostly sunny, 55 on Sunday. Sunday night and into Monday, we're looking at chances at moisture. Again, 20% chances. Looks like in the form of snow right now, but there is only a 20% chance, which you know what that means. 80%. Nothing. All right, 8:17, we're going to take a quick minute and a half break, and then we'll have the folks from the Roswell Adult Center join us on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Ring in the new year at your locally owned and operated Big O Tires. Now through January 7th, save up to $140 on select sets of tires after mail-in rebate. Also, take advantage of our Winter Healthy Car Special for just $29.95. The savings won't last, so make an appointment online or visit your local Roswell Big O Tires today. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
The Fergalicious boys can keep you hot this winter.
Fergalicious.
Oh yeah, it's getting cold out there, and Fergie's Plumbing and Heating has what you need to keep things hot in your home. They can come by and winterize your pipes and check your insulation, and you know they'll do it with nothing but love. Oh yeah, baby. Call the Fergalicious boys at Fergie's Plumbing and Heating at 622-2660. When you need it hot, Fergie's is on the job.
Fergalicious.
Oasis Computers has been Roswell's trusted source for home and small business computers for over 30 years, and they continue to be your best resource for computer repairs, operating system upgrades, web root managed, antivirus, special orders, and more. Oasis Computers is now open from 8 to 1, Monday through Friday to better serve you. Service calls by appointments and after-hour appointments are available too. Stop by Oasis Computers at 1703 North Garden or call or text 575-625-9141 for even faster service.
The octopus and the squid both have 3 hearts. That's why they eat so many Tums. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 19 minutes after 8 o'clock. And joining us in the studio this morning from the Roswell Adult Center, Tracy Schultz, and one of the instructors as well, Hope McKinley as well. Good morning, ladies. How are y'all doing today?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Great.
Good. Let's get you a little close to the mics so they can hear you a little better. I always tell them to eat the mics. They kind of. So how was y'all's holiday, the New Year's, all that? Everything
Mine was fabulous.
Christmas, everything went well?
Yes, my whole family came in from out of town, all my kids and my dad.
Good deal.
So we had a great time.
Good deal. Of course, over the holidays, not all of the recreation side of the city of Roswell was open, but there was quite a few stuff going on over the holidays for families to do, while they had some downtime over the holidays. But now that we're kind of past that, you guys are going to gear up for the new year here, and there's a ton of events and things. And I know you hear a lot about the different sports and recreation, swimming and things that are going on at the Recreation and Aquatic Center, and sign up. There's so many things, but don't forget there's a whole world at the Adult Center of activities and things that I get it. Kids are surround everything, and we do the world, and we're like kids. But sometimes you need a little adult time, a little time away from the kids. Something that doesn't involve, Elmer's glue and you know what I mean, and a fruit punch of some kind.
Yes, yes.
So that adults get to talk, and so the Roswell Adult Center does have a slew of activities for adults of all ages, not just seniors.
18 and older.
Yeah, not
we
just
are
seniors.
18 and older.
And so we would invite folks to come in, and especially if you're making New Year's resolutions about getting active or getting involved, or just maybe being more. Getting out and being more social and things like that. The Adult Center can help you out with some of that stuff.
Yes, indeed. We have actually, with mentioning working out, we have back in March we used our grant for about $50,000 and got all new cardio equipment.
Oh,
so we now,
good.
instead of one room of partially used stuff, kind of broken stuff, we now have 2 rooms.
Good deal.
Of amazing equipment.
So come and try it out and give it. And if you and here's the thing. It's not crowded all the time. So if you're thinking, oh no, it's people are thinking the same thing you are, and they're not coming. So
exactly.
Come in and utilize it.
Yes, that's exactly why some of the people say they like coming, because it's not it's not the heavy flow traffic. They can come in and work out and not feel like they're under someone else's eye.
Or someone
they can be comfortable learning.
Feeling rushed or feeling judged.
Yes, exactly.
that seems a lot in our world today too. So.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. So come. There's a whole wealth of resources at the Adult Center.
Yes.
That I think a lot of people just for whatever reason just seems to kind of fly under their radar a little bit.
I keep getting. I just moved here about 3 years ago, maybe 4. But I started working for the city 2.5 years ago, and people still come in and they go, we've lived here our whole life and we didn't even know the Adult Center was here.
Yeah.
They had no idea.
Well, come explore new things and learn. If you're one of those folks that's like, adult, I've heard of that thing, but I've never actually set foot in it. Come on in. It is not, it's a different facility than the Recreation and Aquatic Center. It's actually a little older because that was the facility that's seniors and that we all kind of associate senior activities with stuff at the Adult Center, and certainly there's a lot of that there. And if you're looking for that stuff, it is there. But please understand, it's not all for retirees and seniors. If you're an adult that wants to do things that doesn't involve popsicles and 2-year-olds, then maybe this will be.
Yes. We have events that we're trying to angle more towards a younger crowd. We just did at Halloween, we did Clue, and then people asked for us to do it again, so we did a Christmas Clue.
Good deal.
Whereas instead of a board, the building is your board.
Yeah, it's like
and
a
mystery,
mystery
it was a whole
fun,
scavenger hunt thing. We had a great, and they asked for another one. So again, at Easter, we're going to do another one.
That's great.
And it's a lot of fun. We make it kind of dark and fog out the rooms and stuff like that, and we have a good time.
Great group activities.
Yes.
For fun if you want to do it as a family or do it with your friends. Either way, it's a fun opportunity.
Exactly.
So, and unique things that you never are different, because that's the thing. And people that say, and this is across the board, the people that say there's nothing to do in this town are not looking.
You're absolutely right.
Maybe you could have made that argument 20 years ago.
Yes.
But today there's every weekend in this town, through the city alone, there's usually 3 or 4 events. And that's not counting all the private and, other activities that go on in the city. But through the city alone, there's usually 3 or 4 events every weekend, whether it's sports going on at the rec center or something at the zoo or something at the museum. There's always something going on.
Absolutely. There's, and we have, I brought Hope along because Hope's one of our fabulous instructors. She not only teaches one class, she teaches, I believe, 3 or 4 different.
I have a stretch class. We call it a senior workout class, but it's really just a light workout.
Okay.
We use light weights and we sit in the chair to do our crunches and stuff.
Encouraging people to be physical.
Yeah,
when
just waking
they
up
have
your
limitations.
muscles, or you can use heavier weights and get a little bit more out of it. I have a yoga class, which my yoga class is geared toward osteoporosis right now.
Okay.
I'm learning about how yoga actually brings bone density back. So that's kind of what I'm gearing it towards, but it's for anybody.
Sure.
And nobody is too old or too out of shape because we use modifications. We use chairs, we use the walls, we use blocks, we use straps. So everybody is encouraged to go at their own pace in all of my classes. And I have a step aerobics class.
And that's the beauty of yoga and those types of programs is it doesn't matter your physical fitness or health level. Especially like maybe you're recovering, rehabbing from a stroke or something like that. You're going to find that a lot of these things that you're learning in yoga and stuff like that are helping or kind of working in concert with whatever rehab you're doing right now.
Well, with my senior workout class, sorry about that.
No problem. It's a Murphy's Law. If you have your phone on the radio
I didn't
show,
even think about it.
It's going to go off. It's just one of those Murphy's Laws.
In my senior workout class, I have a few people who have come in that are rehabbing that are amazing results. I mean, from the time they started till now.
And I imagine you see people that had very limited movement and they started doing this, and now they're seeing 20, 30, 50% increase in some of that movement or some of that freedoms and things.
There's one gentleman that started with a cane, and he walks very slow and very short steps, but to see the progression just from going, and he only comes to her 2 classes, and that's it.
And the beauty of these classes, they're very affordable or free. That's the thing is they don't cost, or it doesn't cost you an arm and a leg to do this stuff. And you, like you said, you go at your own pace. You go, and if you're ready to do the advanced stuff, we can get you some of there. But we're going to teach you to crawl before you start walking.
Absolutely.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
Our cost is only $29 for the year. And with that $29 for the year, you get all of our continuous fitness classes.
Year of membership.
So that's video walking, aerobics, step aerobics, yoga. We have a gentleman who comes in, we call it our active adults class. He is a personal trainer. He works with small groups, and he works back in the cardio room. He'll help you with anything back there you want to learn how to use, and he puts you on circuits for his class. And he's amazing. He's
it's like
really
having a personal trainer, a personal, kind of a Sherpa guiding you through this stuff.
Yes.
And for a yearly fee of $30.
Exactly.
Basically.
Or $2 a visit if you want to just come and give us a try for a day or two.
Sure. See if it's your
$2
thing.
a visit. Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, what if you botch Christmas? If you botch Christmas, maybe you can remember and say, hey, I just bought you a year membership with the adults.
Exactly.
Go and take some classes and have some fun and do all that. So you can, you know what? You can always make good if you botch Christmas real bad here, or,
And even with that $29 a year, it has all that fitness, but it also includes the pool room with the 4 pool tables that you can go back and relax and hang out with those guys back there. And those guys have a blast
social
back
side.
there.
Yeah,
Yes,
come and make some new friends. And now you got pool buddies. Who knows? And it turns out you got pool night. It's like, oh, I can't go. It's pool day. We go and play billiards for a couple
We have
hours.
a gentleman who is there before we open the doors in the morning, and he's there when we close the doors for just to play pool all day.
Some folks, that's a lifestyle. It's not just a hobby. It's a lifestyle for some of those folks.
Yes, we have learned that.
Yeah, and so if you want to be a part of that, if you're looking for, you're thinking, man, I haven't played billiards in years. I'd love to get back into doing that. Well, guess what? There's some people ready and waiting to invite you into
They will teach you everything and anything. They are great back there. They love teaching new people who come in the door.
Yeah, I imagine there's probably a few that can do even some of them trick shots you ever see on like those videos and stuff from time to time.
Hope's husband is actually one of the guys that goes back and does pool, and he knows a lot of the guys back there also, and so she's in that.
He ain't back there hustling people. No,
We in the pool league, and some of the guys that come back, they're playing the pool league with us, and some of them used to, but there are some really good pool players. That
So if you want to come meet some people, if you love billiards and things, or maybe you want to get into it, maybe it's a game you always wanted to do, but he's like, I always embarrass myself every time I get out there. Well, come and let them rub off on you for a little bit. Next thing you know, you can at least be proficient. So you can hold your own in there and all that. But that's what the Adult Center is about. It's about giving new opportunities to people, or giving them opportunities to continue to do the things they love. It's kind of, so if you maybe you were active a lot and life just kind of changed that and slowed you down, and now you're starting to get extra things in places. That's what happens when we get older.
Well, we also have the lapidary.
Okay.
I don't know if a lot of people know, we have the lapidary, and there you can go in and play with rocks.
Okay.
Go in there and take a little rock and turn it
polishing
into something cool.
and all of that.
Cutting and polishing, and then
that's very cathartic, by the way.
Stained glass class, which is pretty popular, and the instructor teaches you how to make cool little things with the stained glass.
And there's a lot of that side too. If you always wanted to learn these, especially these skill sets that take a little bit of talent, and you always wanted to do it, but life didn't present the opportunities. Well, here it is. This is come see it. $30 a year, basically. You could come and do anything and everything there.
For those classes, those actually start next week, because we have 6-week sessions.
So you better get on the stick here if you want to sign up for those.
They start next week, and so with those 6-week sessions, we have a beginning sewing quilting class that the ladies from Calico Cow are going to come out and instruct for us.
Angel and her folks.
Yes, exactly. We have the lapidary, which is the rock cutting. We have line dancing, which Hope teaches also, our basic line dancing, which is more the popular dances that you would do.
Well,
and then
the music and everything.
Mine is the fun class. Mine is the ones that you're going to do in a nightclub, plus ones that you've probably never heard of. But mine is, it's all fun.
Yeah.
There's nothing professional. There's nothing fancy. It's
and
all
if you screw up, it's okay.
And we laugh at you, and you laugh at me because I mess up, and it's just fun. It's good exercise.
There's going to be the one that goes left when everyone went right. That's just what happens.
All the time. It happens all the time, yeah. And it's my class is just fun. We have the line dance class that Margie teaches.
that Margie teaches, and hers is intermediate.
And I'm going to guess you're going to open your social circle, because that class, yes, it's to get active and to have fun, but at the same time, it's a social class. It's a class for dancing and laughing and yucking it up.
Mine is. Margie's is not. Hers is more
serious.
Yeah, mine is not serious at all.
Mine
is like, hey, you see a line dance on a video that you want to learn? Tell me. Well.
And then for the ones that are like, this is a serious thing, it's kind of like when you do 5K races. There's the folks, like most of us, we're just kind of, we're just finding a weird outfit to wear as we goof around for 5K. And then there's those folks that's like, I'm trying to break my time. I did it last time I did it with record time. I'm trying to beat that one. And you know what? We got both of you covered. So if you want to be serious and you want to take this, it's like, no, I'm trying to push the limits so I can do this move or whatever it is. Great, we can do that. But if you're like, I just want to fall around and goof around and have some fun and learn some dance moves and just meet some people, then we got that covered for you.
Absolutely.
So,
we also have a racket taps. I guess they've been around the city for a while.
Okay.
They were at Miss Minnie's for a little while. They were at the Adult Center, and now they're back at the Adult Center.
Okay.
And
Explain what those are.
It's tap dancing for seniors.
Oh, okay.
But anybody can come, 18 and up. But it's a group that apparently, from what I understand, has been around for years at the Adult Center. And then I want to say maybe pre-COVID, they went over to Miss Minnie's, and now they want to come back.
Now they're coming back.
They're going to have a blast.
Old, pardon the pun, stomping ground.
Everybody loves our gym floor. Everybody loves our gym floor.
Yeah.
All the dance classes and everything says we have the best gym floor.
Those tappers are like, man, I missed the tapping sound of that floor.
Yes. So we'll be able to start all that next week. People can come down to see us and register, or they can go online to roswellconnect.com and get registered. And any questions, they can give us a call.
Yeah, absolutely. For folks that, when it comes to city resources, if you have questions about your water bill, or you want to talk to your city councilors, or have information or questions about when the next city council meeting on, Roswell has their government website, which is roswell-nm.gov. That's where, if you want to do everything there. Now, everything for the recreation side of Roswell, including passes at the aquatic center, zoo. If there's events at any of these facilities, generally that's where you purchase tickets at. You go to RoswellConnect.com. And that's the recreation side for everything related to the city of Roswell. Now, if you want to kind of see the adult center stuff, this is what how I found it pretty easy. When you go to the Roswell Connect, you're going to see one of those tabs at the top says facilities. Well, click on the facilities tab, and you're going to see the aquatic center and all. Click the one that says the adult center, and that will take you there, and you'll see a schedule, and you can sort it by dates and everything else of all these events. Look, I'm telling you, we were just talking about events. I'm literally looking at pages and pages of events that are coming up at the adult center. So if I'm guarantee you there's going to be a physical fitness or a social thing or a craft class or something that's going to be in your wheelhouse. And if it's not in the next week or two, it'll be in the coming months here.
We also have the hospitality room, which is free.
Okay.
Everybody can come in. That was a room set by city council with the prices.
Okay.
That room is free. We have concessions in there. We sell coffee. We sell drinks. But it used to be pre-COVID, from what I understand. Again, I just, wasn't here around that time. Just Domino's players all over the place.
Okay.
Our Domino's players have not come back. We would love for them to come back.
We will set the tables up. Come on down.
We have some ladies that play mahjong every Tuesday. They would love for people to come and play with them.
Come play some bones at the adult center here.
Yeah. So the extra classes like the line dance class and the stained glass class, it's not included in the $29.
Okay, those are extra.
Yes, those are extra. You do have to register for them.
Okay.
They're 6-week sessions.
They are, yes.
I'm going to guess, too, that covers materials and things. You probably take home projects and things from that when you do that.
Stained glass, you do.
Yeah.
Lapidary. Lapidary is a lot of fun because lapidary is also, our teacher is amazing. She is a volunteer 100% teacher, and she takes them on field trips. And she goes and they meet out at mines out at Ruidoso out that way. If everybody can go, they'll go and search for rocks and then come back, cut them open.
You get to learn a little geology on top of your
absolutely
art
do.
And she's very knowledgeable.
Yeah.
She knows a lot about rocks, and what she doesn't know, she'll find for you.
I think that industry needs to thank the movie Shawshank Redemption. You ever seen that movie?
Absolutely, one of my favorites.
I think more people took an interest in lapidary on the scene where he got the rocks and he liked to make the chessboards and all the things he did over the years. I think it gave people a reason to want, like, oh, I love that. I would love to be able to do that kind of stuff myself. Well, if you do, this is the class for you.
I've literally been there 2 years, and she would bring me all the rocks, and she would show me. The students come and show me. I hadn't gone back there, and then with the break, it's kind of calmed down.
Yeah.
So she's like, Tracy, come on back. I cut my first rock. I sat and shaped it, and time just, as you're sitting there, time just disappears.
I was about to say,
it's so awesome.
It's therapy.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's probably very cathartic.
Therapy.
It's very, because it's your world, and that's just art in general. When whether it's painting or ceramics or it's your vision, your thing, and it's no different with lapidary. You're seeing the rock, you're creating whatever vision you're seeing from it. It's there's no rules. I mean, there's techniques and there's ways to achieve things, but when it comes to art, it doesn't have to be polished that way if you don't want it to.
You take an average looking rock and you turn it into something amazing. And then Thelma makes the most amazing jewelry. She works with the silver and stuff, and she makes amazing jewelry, and she's passing that along to her students. She helped me a lot. That's how I met Tracy. I was playing around in the lapidary, and Thelma taught me a lot, and I make just whatever. I mean, there's all kinds of cool things to make.
And you can make stuff that looks like $1 million, but doesn't cost $1 million. That's the thing.
Indeed.
You're like, whoa, what is that? That thing looks like the Hope Diamond over here.
My grandkids get rocks for Christmas all the time. Not this year. I didn't get into it this year that much, but I'm getting ready to get back into it. But
Good deal.
My grandkids for Christmas, they know they're getting something that has to do with a rock usually.
I think you should start a new trend and combine lapidary and yoga. Like yoga, because I like to do all these different yogas. I think we could combine lapidary and yoga. I think there is a meeting of the because they're both kind of put you in a headspace. You know what I mean?
Yes,
I think that there's a way. I mean, if you
could get on a yoga ball and just kind of.
If you can convince people to pay you money to have a goat stand on your back while you're doing yoga, then we can do something.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Absolutely.
That's all I'm saying. but seriously, if you've kind of not realized that you have this gem, pardon the pun, in your own backyard here, then you need to make a trip to the Adult Center and come find out. 807 North Missouri is the address. You can call it direct, 575-924-6718 if you have any questions about any of their upcoming events or anything we talked about here, or if you're saying, I just heard on the radio, I want to be a member. Well, come on down or call and they can set it up. Can they sign up for membership online too, or is it best to do it in person?
They can go on, they'll create their own account.
Okay.
And then from creating their own account, then they can go ahead and register. Okay. If they have any questions, they can call us. If they have a problem, they just want to come on in and check us out.
Sure.
You're more than welcome to come walk around and we'll help you out with getting your account.
And like I said, if you just want to get your feet wet and do one or two things, you pay $2 that day to enjoy it, and then, test all the stuff out, sample, take a class, or join in on one of the classes here. And if it seems like something you'd like to do and again, then don't put your $2 back in your pocket and go get your membership, and then you don't have to worry about it.
And then we also, real quick, we do rentals. So on Saturdays, if you have a party going on or something like that and you want a place to have it, a lot of people, when the weather started getting bad, needed a place to come in.
Need a facility?
We have 2 rooms. We have our gym, which is $50 an hour, and we have what we call our large classroom, room 22, which is $40 an hour.
Okay. And what's capacities for things you can host in
the
this?
Gym, I believe, is 268.
Okay, so pretty big.
And the room 22, I want to say, is just at like 220.
So you can host pretty big events in either one of those.
We've actually had 2 going on at the same time where we've had to like keep people on one side of the room and one side of the building and the other side of the building.
Keep their dances separate.
But it's really nice. You get the room, you get tables, you get chairs. You bring in your decorations, you clean up after yourself. It's all there inside for you.
That's the beauty of having these city facilities. This is your community. This is your stuff. Utilize it. That's what it's there for. This is what we create these opportunities in town, in our city. Does this stuff, and this is that point to get them back to what we were saying before. For folks that think there's nothing going on in this town, you're not trying. It really you're literally ostriches with your head in your sand, because there's stuff literally happening right around you if you just open your eyes and look.
Absolutely.
The Roswell Connect app is another thing for you high-tech folks. That you can download that, and then you can kind of stay up to date on what different other businesses and stuff that are signed up with the Roswell Connect. You can see what events they've got going on, and this is all through the city. They put you in connection. And at any time, you can walk down to that visitor center here in the downtown, and they'll be happy to direct you into any of the facilities there. And of course, if you want to do some sightseeing, they can put you in the right direction on that too.
Yes.
But come by the Adult Center today. Come in for a visit. Talk to them. And like you said, if you're not internet savvy, no problem. Just come on into the Adult Center. The staff there will help you navigate with whether you want to sign up for membership or check out one of the classes, or any of that stuff. Now, if you want to get on some of these yoga classes, you need to sign up this next week or two, right? Because the classes are starting.
Yoga is ongoing. Any of our fitness is ongoing.
Okay, those you can jump in at any time.
Exactly. Yeah. Our 6 weeks ones are the one like the stained glass, the line dance, lapidary. We have computer class. We have a basic computer class and an intermediate computer class.
Great.
All of those are 6-week sessions. And if you come in and visit me, I have a calendar that has everything on it as to when our sessions start and our sessions end, and our events for Back to the 80s with or without skates coming up in 2 weeks is going to be amazing.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about that event here.
So it's going to be, we had a roller skating class for a while, and it did really good. Just some of the ladies' things came into play, and it kind of melted out. Some still come in and do some skating here and there. So we decided to give them a night and everybody else, and we're going to set it up like a roller rink. We're going to have an inside area for dancing and an outside area for roller skating.
All right.
And it's going to be come in your 80s costumes,
and
we're going to neon it out.
Everything?
Yes, it is.
Well, from my days in the 80s, the one move that got, this is where it made me feel cool, was fellas only, and they'd play Def Leppard, Pour Some Sugar on Me, and then we skated around in the circles, and if a girl stuck her hand out to high-five you, you knew you were cool. That was official, and there was not many cooler moments in my young days where I felt cooler than the moment where I'm on the skating rink guys only. And I could skate kind of, so I was kind of, bragging, showing off a little bit. I cross over and, kind of look like a, stud.
There you go.
My game was strong. And, the Def Leppard pour some sugar on me. He's going around, and the girl's like, hey. And you give him a high five or you walk by. Like, yeah, I'm cool. So if you want to evoke that memory.
Yes, absolutely.
2
we will
weeks.
have the ladies who taught the class are instructors who also do roller derby
Okay.
and all of that. So they're also out there to kind of help you if you want to do some stuff and learn some stuff. So
That's right.
it's going to be a lot of fun.
I guess if you ask real nicely, they'll hip check you like
They might.
like the roller derby.
Yes. We are even going to do, what is it when you go underneath the stick?
Oh, the limbo. Oh, yeah.
They left all their equipment, so we're going to do the
good.
limbo. It's going to be a fun night.
Short people, this is your game.
Absolutely.
All them 6-footers, you're like, I got this limbo.
Absolutely, yes.
My wife is 4'11". She's the limbo champ.
She doesn't even have to try.
She's like, this ain't hard. Just walking.
Absolutely. So we try to have one evening event each month. So February will be a Valentine's dance.
Okay.
And we're going to have a craft fair coming up, I believe, March or April.
right.
So that'll be local crafters can come on in and we'll set some booths up inside.
Good deal.
And
It'll
so,
be
yeah.
springtime, and you're starting to think spring-like things.
Absolutely. So
stay up to date. Just
Yes.
kind of probably the best thing is just periodically check with the Roswell Connect. That way you can always see what's going on. And of course, if you're a regular visiting, you'll always see what's going on
absolutely.
there. So
I always keep an up-to-date calendar. As
Yeah.
soon as something's done, it's off and the next one's on.
And spread the love. Tell everybody. So if you've got friends, maybe you've got some friends that have been kind of, being a little antisocial, being a little shut in, kind of, maybe they're in a funk. It's easy in this world we live in nowadays. Go tap for a visit and say, hey, let's go play some dominoes over at the adult center.
Absolutely.
Let's go do an arts class, or
And
let's
we
go
have
take some
plenty
yoga.
of dominoes and games, board games, cards, all sorts of things. We would love to come and make coffee for you and let you come sit.
Hey, if y'all start like a Mexican train, that's a dominoes game for folks who don't know.
Yes, that's what they used to play.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at Mexican train now. The last couple of years, I got a set at the house, and we've kind of learned how to play it, and so I'm pretty well versed in Mexican train now.
All right.
So
Well, you'll have to come out and start our group for us.
That's right. I know it can get a little cutthroat, y'all. I'll behave.
Aw, I think the other guys might enjoy that, though.
Yeah. Oh, I remember I was in the military. We had some friends, and we played dominoes, and man, if they got, because they'd slam, turn or shoot, boom, and you're like, wow, the tables rattle. They get into it.
Oh my goodness. Well, they do back in the pool room too, so we're
Yeah.
used to that.
Good. Yeah, that's serious business. So. Good deal. Is there anything we wanted to share that we skipped or missed? Any information or anything?
Let me glance down my sheet
I know
real
sometimes
quick.
I get talking down
Do-do.
rabbit holes.
So if you have been out, we have the pickleball courts that are being done. If anybody has driven by in the
Okay.
last 2 weeks, they'll see the construction out there.
And that's like one of the fastest growing games right now. Is pickleball.
It is.
Yeah.
So there's 4 courts going in the little the lot right next to us that has the old arch from the church.
Okay.
That arch will actually be the entrance. They're going to keep that as part of it.
Nice.
2 of the pickleball courts will be covered.
Okay.
2 of them won't.
All
And
right.
we will, when it gets up and running, they're hoping to have it done soon enough, but they won't be able to do that last seal until the weather heats up.
Okay.
So springtime will probably be when we do the opening of it.
Okay. But in the
And-
meantime, start getting your pickleball rackets and start
we will have
practicing
instructors. We are going to have classes for it and everything. So
And again, another sport that's for everybody,
Yes.
Yeah, it's very popular with seniors, but it's also catching on with younger crowds. I'm noticing more younger and younger people are picking up pickleball too. And now they're starting to have leagues and tournaments, and it's like becoming like a professional sport now. Or like I remember watching Saturday morning, a couple Saturdays ago, I turned on TV and they had pickleball. It was literally showing like the World Series of pickleball there, and it was it's a huge sport now.
I worked at the aquatic center before I went over to the adult center, and there was a group that would come in and they would talk about pickleball. They wanted to use the courts. I'm like, what the heck is pickle? I had to YouTube it to find out what it was, and I honestly was so surprised.
Well, and the first time I saw it, I was visiting my in-laws and stuff. They at that time they had a little place down in Mexico or that they used to go and visit, and so we went down there for Christmas one year, and there's a lot of Americans in this area that they're at. It's kind of a retirement community vacation area, and so but the sport was pickleball.
Yes.
And I had never heard of it. I'm like, oh, it's kind of like racquetball, kind of like tennis, And I'm like, okay. So I watched it, and I was having fun. I was like, really cool. But I made I'm a jokey guy, so I was kind of making some bad jokes, not just in jest, and not the room. They looked at me like, what's this comedian doing here? Get out of this serious business. Like, I was like, ooh, you can't joke at pickleball.
No. No.
I learned they did not find my humor funny. I was like, all right, maybe I should leave.
There you go.
But yeah, they were serious into the pickleball.
Yes.
My jokes were not landing. Very good. But if anybody has any questions about anything, again, RoswellConnect.com is the website. Call the Adult Center, 575-924-6718, or come for a visit, 807
Absolutely.
North Missouri, right there. And come see it's been there for you long time.
Yes.
People here. It's been that
Before the base closed out there.
I've been
Walker.
here since 2000, and it's always been
It
there.
was
and
the youth center originally, and
Yeah.
then it became a senior center after the base closed.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So that was late 60s, early 70s
Something
there when
like
that all
that,
wrapped
yeah.
up. Yeah. So come down and visit. Come check it out. Come see the slew of activities here. Come get involved. If you can't find something that's in your wheelhouse there, it's because you're not trying. I
Absolutely.
guarantee there's something for everybody at the Adult Center.
And on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we are open till 8.
Very good.
So we do have the late times for people who get off work and want to just go work out a little bit.
Yeah,
we're
work
there.
out or socialize or
Yes.
get a quick game of pool in or something.
Absolutely.
Yeah, get in there and come have some fun and come meet new people, make friends. That's the cool part, because I think even if you're not, I'm not doing all the yoga and all that, but once a week I come and play pool, and I got my buddies that I met here, and now so we come and play on certain days, and then our other days are our social day where we go to the park or we go to a restaurant and have lunch.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Our video walking ladies, which they are amazing, and literally it's videos, and they just come in and walk to them, different people they have, but once a month they have their birthday parties for the ladies who have, and so they do that, and on that one day they have a party instead of doing the video walking.
Good deal.
So yeah, it's a really close knit group, and we would love to have some people come
Always
in and join
looking
us.
for
Make
new
it bigger.
new faces to
Absolutely.
come be a part, and if your goals for if you're a New Year's resolution person and your goals to be more active and get more involved, the easiest way to stick to this resolution, come visit the Adult Center.
Absolutely, please.
They'll make it easy to stick to it.
Yes.
Not like, you know what I mean? Because let's face it, we all botch the resolutions. I mean, some of us already have, even though we're 3 days into the new year. Some of us already botched it. So just say it.
Yes.
So, good deal. Did we get it all? Hopes or anything that you want to mention that we missed? Or
Oh, I was just going to say the video walking class
Mm-hmm.
is for the early risers.
Okay.
It's a nice early one. My classes start at 9:30 for those that want to take a little bit
The
of time
sleep-in
before
club.
they yes. And then yoga's at 11, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, but in the evenings we have the aerobics and the
Okay.
step aerobics class in the evenings.
Okay.
And then the weight room is open. So
the entire
one
time
of my
the
step
Adult
aerobics
Center's
girls, her man comes in and works out while she does my class.
good deal. So you can kind of do it together but separately.
Yes.
So you're like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm not into the yoga, but I'll go get a workout in the weight room while you're taking the yoga
So one
class.
of the ladies works out, and her husband goes and plays pool.
Yes,
Yeah.
another one of my step aerobics. Her husband
Love
plays
it.
in the pool room. Yeah. So there's
And then-
something there's something for everybody
And then
there.
at some point in the evening, you all meander together and, kind of socialize for a little bit and then wrap up and go on to your next
Absolutely.
thing. So,
And we were talking about her, the classes being made for, different levels.
Mhm.
But we also have Cecilia's class. Cecilia has an amazing, upbeat, you want to feel like you died at the end of your workout session, feel like that is her class to go
the
to.
one that kind
Cecilia,
of pushes you.
She has a Monday, Wednesday, Friday also at 9.
Okay.
And then on Tuesday, Thursdays, she has an evening class.
If you want
and
to
she will.
You want to make sure you're tired at the end of that session. That's
Yes.
the one you want to sign up for.
A lot of
She'll-
people remember Mr. Bell or Sergeant Bell, who used to run classes there like crazy. Her class is very compares to his.
Sergeant Bell-like.
Yes, absolutely. So
Very cool. So if you want your butt kicked, that can happen too. But
Absolutely.
if you want to dip a toe, we got you covered
yes,
too.
we got you on all ends.
So butt kicking to dipping toes, we
Yes.
got you at the Adult Center. So very good. Well, thank you, ladies. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And we need to get you back in here like monthly or so.
That would be amazing.
Just to talk, just to keep people. Hey, don't forget we're starting these classes this month or whatever.
At least every 6 weeks, when like a week before the classes start, just to remind people to come on in. That
Absolutely.
would be great.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. Just let folks know and again, come see this great treasure in your own backyard. We got, we talk about these amazing amenities and things, and yes, the Roswell Recreation Aquatic Center has so many things, but there's other stuff going on that you could set foot in that building and do a bunch of city stuff and not technically set foot in the Recreation Aquatic Center. So please don't forget the other stuff. So,
absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys, and Happy New Year.
You too.
All right. It is 8:55. This morning's flying already. Let's do this. Let's pause for news and Cowboys for a quick break before the top of the hour to go away.
Now, your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. The city of Artesia will hold a public meeting on January 8th at the Artesia Senior Center, 202 West Chisholm Avenue. The purpose of the meeting is to share updates on community programs. This is not a city council meeting. No policy decisions will be made or discussed. However, it's expected that several city council members will be in attendance. Therefore, since it's possible a quorum of the council members would be present, a public notice must be given. A Ruidoso resident has filed paperwork to challenge U.S. Representative Melanie Stansbury in November. 77-year-old Steve Jones, a retired energy executive and former certified public accountant, was once a write-in candidate for Congress. The filing on December 16th allows him to raise and spend money for a campaign for Congress in the state's 1st congressional district. Jones identified as an independent in the 2020 contest in District 2, but he's been a registered Republican since 1976. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
The tool used to measure your feet at the shoe store is called a Brannock device. The person that measures your feet at home for no reason is called a creep with a foot fetish. Here's Mike Winters.
Hey everyone, with your Cowboys Report, I'm Christy Scales. C.D. Lamb, who last weekend broke Michael Irvin's records for most receptions and receiving yards in a season, talks about his red-hot streak of not only catches and yards, but of touchdowns. Right after this.
Becky Hammond on being the first woman to coach in the NBA.
What if it's no big deal that I'm a woman? What if it's about striving for excellence and being the best me without the label?
It's not about where others say you should be. It's about where you want to go. It's about a financial services company that focuses on your measures of success. Whether it's for your home or business, we offer personalized service and expert advice to help you achieve your unique goals.
Visit swbc.com for financial services without the labels.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
The Cowboys are 11-5 and can clinch the NFC East title in a home game in the playoffs with a win Sunday at Washington. And you know Dak will once again target C.D. Lamb, whose 122 catches leads the NFL and is the new single-season team record. C.D. had 13 catches for 227 yards and a score in Saturday's win over Detroit, and he said that kind of game feels like he's in a zone.
Absolutely. You just play with more of a passion, play more aggressive. And once again, I told you I'd enjoy it more if we won. That we did.
CD goes for a team record 9th straight game with a touchdown at Washington against a Commanders defense giving up the most yards and points in the NFL. Kickoff Sunday afternoon is 3:25 Central. With your Cowboys Report, I'm Christy Scales.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're looking good today with high pressure over eastern New Mexico. We'll be in the upper 50s and we should get plenty of sunshine. Some clouds moving in for the overnight hours with low 30s, and then we could get a few showers on Thursday. Gusty wind around 35 miles an hour with a low moving through our area. Temperature will be in the mid 50s, and then we're back to sunny weather on Friday, low to mid 50s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
all across America. This is the Lou Dobbs Business Report.
I'm Lou Dobbs. A rough start for tech stocks. December Fed minutes on the way and Tesla dethroned. Stocks slipping to start the new year on Wall Street. The Nasdaq plunged nearly 250 points. The worst day on the index since October. The S&P down 27. The Dow Jones Industrials flat on the day. Apple losses affecting the broader market. The stock down more than 3% to a new 2-month low. Apple losing ground in the smartphone market. Demand for the iPhone continues to shrink. December Fed minutes out today. Wall Street betting on as many as 7 quarter-point rate cuts this year. Policymakers hinting at 3. Today's minutes likely to provide more insight into the Fed's projected path. And the November JOLTS report out today. Job openings expected to have risen. Tesla no longer the world's biggest EV maker. China's BYD overtook Tesla for the top spot. This despite Tesla hitting record vehicle deliveries in the fourth quarter. Tesla.
Your home for Coast to Coast AM in Roswell, 106.5, Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
National debt has topped $34 trillion. Donald Trump appealing a ruling by Maine's Secretary of State, barring him from the state's primary ballot.
As promised, the former president's legal team appealed the ruling to the Maine Supreme Court. Trump's appeal argues that the Secretary of State, who is a Democrat, abused her discretion and relied on untrustworthy evidence. His attorneys wrote that the secretary should have recused herself due to her bias against Trump. But Shenna Bellows, who used the Constitution's insurrection clause, said she has confidence in her decision and in the rule of law. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Dozens of people are dead, scores wounded in explosions during ceremonies in Iran honoring a deceased general.
Iranians held a mock funeral to honor General Qasem Soleimani, the head of an elite Revolutionary Guard force who was killed in a U.S. drone strike in Iraq in January 2020. A senior Iranian official is calling today's blasts a terroristic attack. The explosions occurred near Soleimani's gravesite in Kerman, more than 500 miles from the capital Tehran. Soleimani is hailed as a national icon in Iran, but American officials considered him a deadly foe during the Iraq War. I'm Donna Warder.
The U.S. hiring boom may be fading a bit. Employers posted 8.8 million job openings last month, the fewest since March of 2021. And the number of people quitting their jobs, that's considered a sign of confidence in the labor market, fell to its lowest level since February of 2021. Stocks sharply lower so far this morning on Wall Street. The Dow down 243 points. The Nasdaq is off 107 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call Low Cost Airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now. In a time where humans and technology collide, ineffective technology plagues our businesses, schools, and healthcare environments.
Japan's Transport Ministry has released air traffic control communications of about 4 minutes and 27 seconds just before the crash. The transcript indicating control had given the JAL Airbus A350 permission to land on runway C, but not for the Coast Guard plane. However, according to an NHK television report, the Coast Guard pilot said he was given permission to take off. The Coast Guard said officials are verifying that claim. Police have begun a separate probe into possible professional negligence. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
Israel is on high alert for an escalation with Hezbollah after one of the top leaders of the Palestinian Hamas was killed in a drone strike in Beirut. The attack widely blamed on Israel, which has had no comment. News and analysis, townhall.com. The Senate will continue examining the perils of social media in 2024.
A number of Senate committees will no doubt be looking more closely at the impact social media has on teens and children. But its impact on broader society is also of concern, especially with a national election right around the corner. Leftist Democrat John Fetterman is the most recent to speak out about the ill effects of social media in his own life. He told CBS News over the weekend checking his social media worsened his mental health after he was elected and after he was temporarily hospitalized with clinical depression last year. Bob Agnew reporting.
Back to work today for California legislators. Finances high on the lawmakers' agenda. A nonpartisan legislative analyst's office says California will likely run a $68 billion budget shortfall. Democrat Governor Gavin Newsom has a week to come up with a plan to cover the deficit. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel and what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. I'm doing a show without in the show. Yeah, I was talking about things that I'm yeah, I am. I know. I had a thought I had to get out, and I needed to get it out.
It was one of those
now.
Conversations that we have to save for Mornings with Mike Winters nights.
That's right. Oh, yes. Mike Winters nights.
That's right. We want to do a show from like a bar. Yeah. It's like our morning show, but just like R-rated.
I would love to do it. I don't know if people would actually come to it.
Dude, people would come to it.
You think?
Oh, you could totally stream it like a podcast.
Yeah.
People would 100%.
Yeah. But I want a physical element. Like, I want an audience.
Yeah,
I want a crowd to feed
and
off
some
of.
participation from them. Maybe have like a game or two.
Yeah, where you can get a little bit
At the variety.
There you go.
Yeah.
You'd have a built-in
Thomas,
audience.
make it happen. I've been saying this for years, though. And it's,
I go a little blue with it. Yeah, you know.
Oh, heck yeah.
I mean, that would be. I would love to do that, but I don't know if people would actually go and see it.
We actually pull back on the curtain. We had this idea eons ago when we were back at Mix 106.
We did.
The version of this station before it was this station.
Now, to be honest, I don't think we could do that show.
Oh, no.
Nowadays.
No,
that show would have been a little over the top for today's standards.
A little more shock jockey.
Yeah. But I would like to do that.
Yeah.
So, T-Beard, if you're listening, Katie, salespeople, you can sell this bad boy. I'd do it. It'd be fun. I think I just don't know if people come. That's the thing.
I think they would.
Dude, I would paper the neighborhood with flyers. I'd be like, hey, this is what we're doing. Come on out.
Yeah.
You know,
I think people would.
Yeah.
Have you seen the podcasts that are out there?
Oh, yeah.
People would show up.
Yeah. I just don't know. I mean, I don't, because, it's a different show that we do here.
It obviously wouldn't be, we wouldn't have
joke and everything, but it's a community interest show.
You wouldn't have the comptroller on or anything like that. I'm just talking about
like the audience for that would not be the same as the
but
audience
like a
for
2-hour version of us just, and maybe Andrea show up, just like some guests just vamping.
Yeah, I think that's my jam. I could do that all day.
Oh yeah,
that's like if I could find some way for people just to pay me to just sit there and pontificate. I can do that for hours.
That's how I got here.
I mean, I kind of have it now, but I mean, like with Unleashed.
Right.
No, 100%. My girlfriends and I have talked about that at nauseum as well.
Yeah.
What kind of podcast could we do?
Yeah. Because, I mean, I say offensive things, but it's from a place of love. Like, that's...
sometimes.
That's, I mean, yeah.
For me.
But,
I'll
you know,
talk for myself.
Like, I'm calling you an idiot. It's because I want you to do better.
Right. because he believes in you.
Sometimes you're just an idiot.
Right.
The one show I could never do is the show where I'm by myself in my car driving. That is the show that I will never let the world see, because if that world saw that one, I would be
canceled.
Oh, big time.
Ultra canceled.
Big time. I wish death on people. And that's just the teen stuff.
Yeah, people think that I'm unhinged and I just say, and I'm like, no, I actually do think before I speak. So think about all the things I don't say because I say a lot of crazy stuff.
Those are like just fly out the mouth. And
Road rage with Mike Winters.
I've wished. After I've said a couple, I'm like, dang, that was dark.
Mine,
what are you doing?
Mine would just be a musical interspersed with curse words.
Yeah. Put it this way, if there's some new disease out there, I usually wish it on people. Like,
yeah.
Did you say Super AIDS?
Yeah, I'm that guy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all, put it this way, if I had my druthers, this entire town would be sterile after my complainings of people, because I'm like, we are not making more of you. Sterilized.
Let's just finish this race. Finish it strong, everybody, and then we're done.
I'd say high 90% Kyle, for sure.
Yeah, I would go down that area. So, but point being, I would like to do so. I wouldn't go that dark, but
right.
But you know,
maybe a little light sterilization.
Maybe I could tell some of those stories I always want to tell here, but can't tell here because there's adult scenarios or situations involved that aren't family friendly.
Right.
That would be.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, that would be, you know, for people that aren't offended by jokes and stuff. Stuff like that. We live in a world where everyone's offended by people are looking to be offended now.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So this would have to come from a place where you got to leave that at the door, because you're going to be salty if you come in with that attitude. Anyway.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Anyway, who knows? What maybe 2024 will bring us one of these.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
If there's a venue willing to take us,
I'd totally be in.
If there's people willing to come, and we can actually get like some sponsorship.
Yes, a couple sponsors. I think maybe a few notable guests. You know, popping by, keep them surprise status. So, you know, when they show up for their bit, it's like woo! You know, they get the cheer walk.
Oh,
on.
hey, look, Joe Schmuckatelli just walked in. We had no idea he was going to be here.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, well, let percolate and let that marinate, salespeople.
Yeah.
When you have your next meeting, marinate that one. See what you can come up with. But anyway,
we'll be waiting.
Andrew Moore is patiently with us, waiting from the Roswell Chamber of Commerce to give us an update on what's new in 2024. So we'll get that update here in a bit. Later on in the hour, we'll get you up to date with the news of the local variety, along with your Wall Street business update and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. Before we do any of that, let's take a gander at your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're looking good today with high pressure over eastern New Mexico. We'll be in the upper 50s, and we should get plenty of sunshine. Some clouds moving in for the overnight hours with low 30s, and then we could get a few showers on Thursday. Gusty wind around 35 miles an hour with a low moving through our area. Temperature will be in the mid-50s, and then we're back to sunny weather on Friday, low to mid-50s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, 34 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 67%. Winds are calm at the moment. Sunny today, 58 the expected high. Winds will be out of the southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, expect increasing clouds and an overnight low of 34 degrees. Southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. For Thursday, we can see the gamut, but accumulating to nothing. If that makes sense. You're like, what are you talking about? There's a 40% chance of moisture tomorrow. We're talking a slight chance of rain and snow before 8 in the morning, then it just being rain after 8 in the morning. They say the sun will gradually come out, and we'll have a high of 48 with southeast winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. So little to no accumulations of snow expected. So that was my point. 40% chance of precipitation, all leading to nothing. Thursday night, partly cloudy, overnight low of 30, west winds 5 to 15. Friday, sunny, 52 for a high, northwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Looking at the weekend on Saturday, mostly sunny, 49 for a high. Sunday, mostly sunny, 55. And then Sunday night, Monday, we're back into this chances of precipitation thing. They're talking a 20% chance of snow Sunday night after 11. And then a 20% chance of snow on Monday with a high of 47. They don't talk about accumulations or anything like that. So, kids, do your homework this weekend. You're probably going to school on Monday, especially since it's your first day back from Christmas break and all of that. You're going to school. Oh, that's right. That's right. They don't go back to what, Tuesday or Wednesday or something. Yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
That's right. Because of Martin Luther King Jr. Day? Yes. Okay. Yeah, my wife works Monday, but the kids don't. I forgot. That's right. She goes back. The kids don't. Yeah. That's right. I'm sorry. So, kids, Tuesday you're going to school because it'll be. Yeah, by Tuesday it's supposed to be sunny and 46, no talk of snow. So, all right, it is 9:16. Let's go ahead and take a 2-minute break, and then Andrew Moore with the Roswell Chamber will join us on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Wakefield Oil Express has the highest quality service in Roswell with a 17-point full-service oil change that includes a full wash and vacuum at their car wash. You won't find a better deal. They also offer full synthetic oil changes, fuel and cabin filter replacements, and will even check your battery. Their tunnel wash isn't afraid of dirty vehicles. They have the best value wash in town with free vacuums. They even offer wash passes that can be used for multiple vehicles. Next time you need your oil changed, go to the fast and efficient Wakefield Oil Express and let them earn your business. 3204 North Main, Roswell.
Knowledge is the power to see more, do more, and be more. As one of the most affordable universities in the Southwest, Eastern New Mexico University has helped thousands of people like you earn a degree. Spring 2024 at ENMU is the perfect time to get started with affordable tuition, great scholarships, and a wide range of in-person or online classes. Learn your power. Apply today for spring 2024 at enmu.edu. Eastern New Mexico University. Student success. That's what we're about.
Garlic has been around for thousands of years and is one of the world's favorite seasonings. Without garlic, most of our food would be dull and boring, kind of like watching C-SPAN. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. If you like to cook and like to grow things, you ought to try growing your own garlic. Come by Roswell Seed Company and we'll show you how. And next August, you'll have fresh, homegrown garlic to make your food taste great and keep the vampires away.
The Fergalicious boys can keep you hot this winter.
Fergalicious.
Oh yeah, it's getting cold out there, and Fergie's Plumbing and Heating has what you need to keep things hot in your home. They can come by and winterize your pipes and check your insulation, and you know they'll do it with nothing but love. Oh yeah, baby. Call the Fergalicious boys at Fergie's Plumbing and Heating at 622-2660. When you need it hot, Fergie's is on the job.
Fergalicious.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. More than 50% of Americans fall asleep on their sides. That's way better than falling asleep on someone else's side. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 18 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us now officially in the studio from the Roswell Chamber of Commerce, Andrew Moore, director, back with us. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Anytime. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Merry belated Christmas.
Yeah. Well, I know, of course, the Chamber did kind of take a little holiday siesta there.
We did.
But we're back open and ready for 2024.
Absolutely.
And kind of hit the ground running with all the events and things that are coming up here.
In fact, today, this afternoon at 11:30, our chat with Chaves County will be happening at the Chamber. So come on down, even if you haven't RSVP'd. We'll make sure we have plenty of food for everybody.
Good deal, yeah.
And
is Bill Williams going to be
He is, and in fact, he also is going to be bringing the finance director and the grant writer for the county. So if you have any questions, please come on down to the Chamber of Commerce today at 11:30.
Sure.
We give you lunch on us, and then you can ask questions of all the things that are going on within the county.
And then, of course, obviously with the finance director and the grant writer, they're going to steer a little bit towards the money side of things. So if you got money-related questions or grant, obviously, put it this way. If you have a skilled grant writer, that's a skill that can go anywhere with you because grant writing is very meticulous, very...
it's very technical. I've written a handful of grants for different organizations in my lifetime, and they're pretty specific. You can't just write, I need money because you have to be very specific, very methodical.
And even if your organization is very, very worthy of the money, if that grant isn't written correctly or it wasn't done to their specifications, even if the cause is so worthy, you're out.
Oh, absolutely.
You're out. So that grant writer, a person that knows how to dot the I's and cross the T's and make a grant perfect, that is a great skill.
They are worth their weight in gold.
This person might just be someone you want to listen to because they probably have some good tips, especially if you're a grant writer out there or wanting to be one and you're wanting to know the ins and outs of that. This might be a good person's brain to pick.
Yeah. So come on down. Please come on down. Because we're starting the new year off running. And then next week starts all of our Tuesday programming up again. And we have moved our Good Morning Roswell to Good Afternoon Roswell. Yeah. We just started to notice that people since COVID would rather come for lunch than have a breakfast. So next week is Good Afternoon Roswell. So the city manager and our city officials will be on hand. And of course, we have 4 brand new city councilors. So I'm in the works of trying to get them to come on down so everybody can be introduced to our new city councilors and get their thoughts and opinions
they're
on
all
going forward.
Sworn in and official now, I think now. So.
On Monday.
Yeah, Monday. Yep. So you'll probably get to meet some of those throughout the course of the lunches with the city here now. So, but I'm guessing this next one probably some of the department heads and things like that too. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's, those are great because it's kind of like last hour we were talking with Tracy and Hope from the Adult Center, and these are those opportunities to learn that there's how much things are available in the city and what's
there really
going on.
is, and so many people complain there's nothing to do. There really is a lot to do in Roswell. There really is.
Absolutely.
And one of the things that I have been working on since I've taken over at the Chamber is having a true community calendar. And if you've got an event in Roswell and Chaves County, contact us. Let us know. We will put everything on the calendar because
whether you're a chamber member or not.
Correct.
Yeah, don't
something...
think you have to be a chamber member. Now, if you're a chamber member, you better be taking advantage of us and calling and putting your stuff on there.
Exactly, because there's so many more things that we can do for you.
Yeah.
But one of our things that we provide for the entire community is a community calendar. We put all the plays that are going on with Way Off Broadway, with the Community Little Theater. Of course, we have all the meetings for the county commission, school board, city council, all the different committees. So those are the basics that we started with. And then as other organizations contact us, let us know if you're doing a trash pickup event, tomorrow from 3 to 4, let me know. I'll put it on there.
Especially if it's
Anything
community-based event stuff, where it's benefiting for the public or something for the public's benefit. And please let us know, like you said, for those cleanup days.
Anything, absolutely anything. Now, of course, if it's a little less family friendly, we are probably not going to put those types of events, but we'll put everything on, because I would rather somebody go and check out our community calendar and go, oh my goodness, there's 25 things to do today.
Yeah. But if your church or your civic organization's having an event, put it on our radar. Tell us about it. Or if your business is having an event, even if it's a grand opening type thing, obviously if you're a chamber member, talk to us here. But if you're not, maybe this is your foot in the door and say, hey, yeah, we'll be happy to let you know about that. But, we'd love to talk to you about some of the other things we can do to help your business grow. But please, whatever it is to make your thing or event better, please consider the chamber as a resource or a tool to help promote it and or maybe even partner with it depending on, the nature of what you're doing and what maybe it lines up with what we're doing and we can turn it into a multi-faceted event here.
Exactly. And we have a brand new membership director, Gary Thrine. He has been one of our longtime Redcoats, and he has come in as of November to be our membership director, and he has hit the ground running.
Yeah.
So he is so eger and anxious to get out and meet everybody in town.
He's so good at welcoming people that we made it a paid gig for him.
Exactly. Yeah. No, 100%.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is. He's been a long time and still is a Redcoat.
Yes.
And involved with that, but we're like, well, let's take
bring
that
you in
to our level. And so now he's been our membership coordinator for the last month or so here and doing a great job. And if you have not seen Gary in your businesses
You will.
You will soon.
Whether you're a member or not, because he will be hitting everybody up, and he's got his list. We've taken that time through the holiday season, and so he's going to be out there, and we're just excited to have him on there.
Absolutely, yeah. He's a great asset to us and a great human being too.
He really is. He's definitely interesting.
Yeah.
Sit down and talk with him, and you learn a lot of things.
Yeah, but please get involved. Yeah. We got stuff, and so if you've got events, if you got things, let us know. We'll definitely hit them up on our community calendar and our social medias and all the different ways we get things out to people.
Correct.
Here.
And of course, if you're a member, there's so many other tools that we have at our disposal to be able to help our members. So, of course, today, chat with Chaves County, and then starting next week, back on the Tuesday schedule with Good Morning Roswell. Then the third Tuesday of every month is the Sheriff's Luncheon, and we wrap up the month every month with our education panel, and we've traditionally been having Brian Luck, superintendent for RISD, Major General Grizzle with NMMI, and Dr. Sean Powell with Eastern New Mexico University Roswell campus. But we are not limited to only those three.
Some of our private schools love to see your administrators come and be a part of it.
Or our Valley schools like Arthur Dexter Hagerman.
Absolutely.
If you're a homeschool representative, please come and let me know that you're out there and that you're interested. We'll get you in the mix, because the whole purpose of that last luncheon of the month is to highlight everything with education.
And even like our local schools that aren't in Roswell. And what I mean by that is like your ENMU Portales.
Yes.
Your maybe New Mexico Tech, if you're listening and you're representatives from one of these other state schools that would love to be a part of this.
I would love to have those representatives, because then you can explain, somebody's going to have a child or a grandchild or a niece or a nephew that's getting ready to go on to higher ed.
New Mexico
Who are
State,
you? What
whatever.
do you do? And why would my child be a fit?
Sure.
I've got 2 college students nowadays, and it's pretty interesting to see how different they are. They're only a year and a half apart, but to see how different the personalities are and what they're into.
Well, and you look at, because obviously ENMU's here in Roswell and things, but, New Mexico State, Cruces, obviously UNM, but then they're now it's the Community College of the Southwest down in Carlsbad, which was formerly part of New Mexico State. Now it's its own college. So there's other higher learning institutions within our local region, and if you want representation at this, please reach out to Andrea here, and we'll definitely
be more than happy to get you looped in and on the schedule.
Yeah.
So that's what we've got going on, and of course we're into 2024, which means start looking for all of our information for Rise with Roswell. That will be happening the middle of March.
Which will happen quicker than you realize.
Yes. So if you'd like to be a sponsor, or you've traditionally been a sponsor, please, once again, contact us at the office. We'd love to get you in. If you know somebody that is in the agricultural entertainment area and you think that they would be a great fit for Rise with Roswell, we are right now in the middle of going through all of our ideas.
The hunt for a guest speaker. And
exactly.
All that. Yeah.
And I'm always amazed at how many really good people and talent is out there.
Absolutely.
So we're always looking for somebody that's unique, interesting.
And if you're not familiar, Rise of Roswell is our yearly salute to our farmers and ranchers.
Correct.
To the people that put food on our table and put, this is, kids, your food does not come from the grocery store.
Correct.
There's other places.
As Candy Azell has always told me, and I love this about Candy, she goes, all right, who here in this room is part of ag?
Yeah.
And of course, you don't see very many hands. And she goes, do you eat?
Yeah.
Yes. If you eat, you're part of ag.
Yeah.
You should come out to our Rise with Roswell agricultural breakfast.
Absolutely.
It does start early. It does start at 6 a.m.
It is farmer and rancher hours.
But my kids love it because they can go have a really good breakfast and then still go off to school
You're done
and
by
enjoy the day.
7 or so there.
That's right.
7:30, and you get a great guest speaker. And the only part that stinks is it's early in the morning because
that's right.
That's farmers' times. But as we get closer, we'll have more information. But now's the time if you want to be a sponsor, if you want to reserve your table for the event.
Correct. If you want to be a part of this event in any way, shape, or form, contact us at the chamber, either myself or Gary. We would love to make sure we've got you.
It's always a great breakfast. We always have great people that support and provide the food and everything, and we have great guest speakers.
Because I always feel like at the end of the event, there's, we should have had that one last sponsor or that one last person we should have reached out to.
Yeah.
So, if we haven't reached out to you for some reason, contact us. That doesn't mean that we're trying to snub anybody. It just means that maybe we don't know you exist yet.
Well, if you eat it or wear it, odds are pretty good. You're a part of the
That's
the
right.
ag-
So come be a part of that. And then we've got legislative session that's starting next week, if I can remember correctly.
20, what is it? 20.
Because it's starting pretty quick. It is a 30-day session because we're on an even year, which means it is a shortened
I want to say it's
session.
like 2 or 3 weeks away. I just don't remember.
Yeah,
the exact
it's coming
date.
pretty quick.
Yeah.
And so we will be going to session a couple of times to go advocate for our community. Of course, Leadership Roswell goes every year to go do one of their classes to meet the elected officials, see how Santa Fe works, and participate.
If they get to do everything, they usually get to go to the governor's mansion. They go to the Supreme Court. They go. That's if they get to do everything. But usually there are things going on that day that 1 or 2 of those events.
Inevitably, something happens. We'll have a nice, beautiful agenda for 2 days.
Yeah.
And inevitably, something will happen. And it's like, oh, well, sorry.
And
this thing happened. We couldn't avoid it.
And to be honest, because this is a 30-day and not a 60-day, that increases the odds of that happening.
Correct.
Because 60 days a little more leisure, especially if you're going the first 30 days of the 60-day. It's a little bit more slower paced.
Correct.
But the 30-day, they ain't got time for all that.
They go.
Yeah, they hit the ground running, and it goes the entire 30 days. So if something's going on in the Supreme Court that day, they just may not be able to accommodate you. Or the governor's got something going on, and they just can't accommodate you. That does happen from time to time.
And it's not a personal stab at Leadership Roswell. They're very well known, well respected.
Absolutely.
And so all of our officials, all of our people up in Santa Fe love to see our Leadership Roswell
But we're
group.
hoping this year nothing, like this will be the first time that everything's back to normal as
Correct.
far as, limited on where they can go.
And
where
so
we
far,
can do
I haven't heard of us hitting any road bumps with that.
Good.
And so we're putting on the finishing touches this week, making sure we have enough rooms, all of that stuff for our
Everybody
group.
stay healthy, so don't make us bust out masks and all that.
Yeah,
stuff
correct.
Because that'll handcuff everything.
Oh, absolutely. So just wash your hands. Don't touch your face.
That's right.
If you're sick, stay home. Just normal things. And then, of course, in April, we are bringing back our legislative recap luncheon, where we will be inviting all of our elected officials for this area. So not just Roswell and Chaves County, but all of southeastern and kind of southern New Mexico.
Some of your state senators and state representatives.
All of our anybody that is ready, willing, and able to come to give an update what just happened in the 30 days, because we have some really good elected officials, and they all kind of have an area of expertise or an area that they really focus on.
Passion projects kind
Correct.
of thing.
And so, you'll have a certain elected official that'll tell you all about ag. You'll have another official all about oil and gas. Somebody else to talk to you about what happened with education, what has happened with law enforcement and, health, welfare, and safety. And then, of course, they do come together and go, okay, here was our passion project as a collective. Here are the things that we've done. And then, of course, they all get capital outlay money.
Yeah, find out what funded and what didn't get funded.
Exactly. And they'll explain that, too. Why is, the money going to this project over here to Project A and not Project B?
Yeah.
Or why did we pull it together and we're going to Project Z instead of this other stuff?
For folks that have ever listened to me and County Manager Bill Williams talk on we've talked about capital outlay quite a few times on that. And basically how basically each city and county, municipality, they create a list of projects that they would like the state to fund, and they have to meet certain criteria about the benefit, and then basically you kind of prioritize. And so like your more important things are generally at the top of the list. Things that would be nice but not necessarily kind of are at the bottom of the list.
Correct.
And what happens is you hope to get a couple of those items on your list checked off. And then you can move up next year other lesser important items.
And just because your item is, not number one, your number one project doesn't always get funded.
Sure.
There have been times that our elected officials will go, you know what, we're going to actually fund number 5 on the list. Typically, they do try to do your top, 1, 2, 3s.
Sure.
But sometimes they go, I don't have the monies, the funds to be able to help you with project number 1.
Sure.
But we can help you with project number 4.
Or they could say to you, okay, you want $1 million. I can only give you $500,000. Will that still help you? You
Correct.
know what I mean? And can you fit the bill for the rest
Correct.
of it?
And they try to really work with all of our cities, municipalities, counties to get those projects done, because as we all know, there's certain things. There's roads that need to be improved. There's infrastructure that needs to be improved. And how do all of these cities, municipalities, counties do it, because they can't fund it fully on their own? That's where the state comes in and goes, you know what, we'll help you out.
And generally, this kind of what I've noticed in the past is, if they're projects that are more involved in the health and safety of the public, those will generally get prioritized versus more that are dealing with just common or better lifestyle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, roads and infrastructure tends to get taken first, and not a Ferris wheel.
Yeah, not saying that doesn't happen, but they're like saying, well, look, I get the park, but maybe we should focus on.
Correct. Let's get you to the park before we take care of the park.
So, but that's kind of the capital, and so that's those debates go on.
And so that is the purpose of our legislative recap, and that will be happening in April. Hopefully by the next time I come in, I'll have solid dates, because we just want to make sure venues are available and our people are available before I start saying, oh, come on X date.
Yep, absolutely.
Because there's nothing worse than going, we're going to be there April 1st, and then it's April 19th.
Well, good news is we got a few months between now and then, so
Correct.
we'll cement that down and get it.
But all of that information will start being flooded out into the ether. You'll start seeing our emails, social media, anywhere that we can possibly post all of that information, it'll get out there.
Absolutely. You want to talk a little bit about because now we're in the new year. Want to remind folks that we're doing business after hours, things like that again.
As always, business after hours. If you are a member, that is one of our member-specific.
That's a perk.
Perk that we do for our members. If you are a member or you have a business that's getting ready to open, we would love to highlight you. So that is the purpose of our business after hours. That you contact us, we get our red coats to come out, we get the community to your business, and we highlight you. You get to show off whether it's a new addition, whether you're a brand new business, Or, for example, right before we went to the holiday break in our office, we had Hippie Chicks celebrating their 20 years of being open.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a huge party, business after hours with Terry and her crew at Hippie Chicks. So if you just want a reason to have a party,
sure,
business after hours is perfect. We come in, we start business after hours at 5 o'clock. We're done by 6:30. So an hour and a half. And if you want to continue to party after that, then totally up to you.
Sure.
But we will make sure that our red coats are there from 5 to 6:30. Typically, you as the business will provide a couple of door prizes. And we get the community out there. It's a great way for the community to network as well, because you get to see make new friends, see old friends. Everybody.
Usually the people that come to participate will bring $1 in a business card.
Correct.
And they'll usually, that's another drawing they'll do. And at the end of the night, they'll draw from the business cards, and the business card drawn will win the money and all the business cards.
And at Terry's business after hours, I believe the cash prize was about $75.
Not too shabby.
So 75 people throwing in $1.
That's a nice Christmas present for somebody there. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. But it's kind of, it ebbs and flows to each one. But the idea is for you to show off your business and show off, your facilities and your product and the things that you do. And for the rest of us, it's a chance to not only learn about that, we come and network and talk and, and next thing, hey, let's set up a meeting for next week to talk about that or whatever it is.
Of course, we've got our red coats, which once again are a perk for our members.
They're the ambassadors that kind of make us.
If you've got a grand opening, a ribbon cutting, right before we went into the holidays, for example, Steel Depot just opened a brand new building as part of their facility. So we did a big ribbon cutting, and they showed off their big, beautiful building and all of the new things and additions that they can do out there. So, those are perks specifically, and all you have to do is call us. Typically, we do our business after hours on Thursdays because we've noticed most people's calendars tend to be pretty open on Thursdays, but we are not limited to Thursday.
Sure. If you have a special occasion or something that falls on a different date, no worries.
Well, like Terry with Hippie Chicks.
That was on a Monday,
Her 20th anniversary fell on a Monday, and she had contacted us, and she goes, if I have to do it on Thursday, I will, but my actual anniversary is this date. Yeah, of course. If it's open, if my red coats are ready, willing, and able to do it, we are happy to show up.
Absolutely, absolutely. So please, again, if you're a chamber member, reach out to us and say if that's a possibility or something.
And
you
if
want to do
you're
for your
not a
business.
chamber member, you should be, because this is just, two examples of what we can do for you.
Absolutely. But yeah, it's another, and but look for more of those here in 2024.
Absolutely.
And of course, as a chamber member, you're going to see more, we also, because we talk about, learning about with the mayor and with the city, but sometimes they also have one of those kinds of sessions that are for businesses, and it's a session on learning how to handle HR, the new HR stuff, or handle with these times and leave and all this stuff that in the last year or two these rules have been
our
made.
lunch and learns
Stuff
we're
they
getting
kinda learned
short
in
up
that.
because you do need to know some of these new rules and regulations. If you are a business that has, I think it's 17 people or more, there's certain things you have to do versus a business that has 2 or 3 employees that you're not required to do certain things. And I'm learning every day those different regulations.
But we have experts that come in and offer sessions from time to time that teach things
and
like that.
if you are an expert in something that you think, hey, everybody needs to know this, once again, contact us. We'd love to get you highlighted.
And think about this terms, we're the chamber, because we have all businesses. We have your major corporations, your internationally known businesses.
Yes.
To the two people mom and pop business.
That's right around the corner from our store. Absolutely.
We have members that are both, and they all serve each other. Whereas, our bigger corporations, they don't need so much money for marketing and advertisement. They got that covered, but they need goodwill. They need They need to establish in communities and say that they're part of the community.
And
So-
they want to network with the smaller businesses
Right.
when there are things going on.
So
they want to help.
So we're that conduit for them. Whereas the mom and pops, the folks that are literally, they have a passion for their product and that's about it here. We can help you guys with the other side, that the part that you got in and you're like, look, I don't have the money to spend $500 a month on advertising or any of
That's
that kind
right.
of stuff. That's where the chamber can say, you know what, we can
help you out.
circumnavigate some of that, help you with that, get you alternatives to market your business in ways that don't cost you $500 a month to do that.
We help use our resources to help you become
And
the
then
best that you possibly
on the other
can
side
be.
too, when you need to know some of these rules and regulations and things, and you're like, wait a minute, I got to do what now for these employees? But I only got 2 of them. What am I mean? And
Exactly.
we can be that resource to help you make sure you're in compliance with those kinds of things.
Oh,
too.
absolutely.
We can find that information, help you get it.
And I don't know everything, and I can't tell you how many times I'm like, I have not been asked that question yet. And I take your name and phone number or your email. I go find the information and get back with you.
And that's where we can also do that for networking of businesses. Like if
Exactly.
you have a little downtown event here, well, more of our little businesses can partner together for that. If obviously if they're all selling widget X, then it might be a problem. But when they got their own little, one does food, one does,
That's
boutique
right.
stuff, one does jewelry, whatever it is. I mean,
Exactly. How do you partner together?
Yeah.
Because I sell hamburgers, you sell sodas,
Yeah.
and the guy next door sells alien widgets.
Mhm.
Hey, let's get together and have a party.
Absolutely.
And then we all benefit.
That's what the chamber does. So, if you're not a chamber member,
You should be. You're missing out.
And another thing that we always like to say too is if you do business in Chavez County,
Even if you're not located in Chavez County, you should be a member.
absolutely.
For sure.
So even though you don't have a physical building in Chavez County,
If you are doing business in Chavez County in Roswell, you should be a member because you are only going to continue to help your community in which you are doing commerce, but then we can continue to help everybody within our community as well. And just because our name is Roswell Chamber of Commerce does not mean that we only help those within the boundaries of Roswell. We will help anybody within the boundaries of our community, which is Chavez County, and a lot of times even beyond.
Eddie, Lee,
If you need help, we are here to serve.
Well, the thing is, a lot of our counties down here share a lot of the same.
Absolutely, there is a lot of overlap.
Yeah, so it always works together to help out and benefit each other,
Yeah.
especially when we get into more regional or statewide issues. Let's face it, a lot of the counties down here are on an island on most things that the rest of the state are dealing with.
Oh, absolutely.
And
We
so
are
we have
completely
to-
different.
yeah.
You cross I-40,
Yeah.
and we are two different worlds
Yeah.
a lot of times.
So there's strength in numbers.
Yes.
So a lot of times we're working hand in hand with Hobbs and Artesia and Carlsbad. And
Oh,
these
absolutely, because
other-
we all have the same vested interests.
Yeah.
We all want what's best for our communities
Mhm.
and for our citizens and for ourselves, quite
Absolutely.
frankly. I don't have small children anymore. I have big and medium-sized kids, but I want my kids to come back. My son goes to school out of state.
Yeah, some of them are at the point where they're now picking their paths on where
They
they're
are,
going.
and
Yeah.
I would love for my son to finish school, go see the world, and then come back. I would love to see my son come back, my daughter come back
I think
to the
most
community.
kids, and I can't say all kids, but I'm going to say most kids, at some point they hit that place where they want to see the world and be independent for a minute.
And you should, and I encourage it.
Absolutely. But the thing is, we want to. So when they that phase ends, and they're like, "Man, I just want to go." You want them to come back home rather
Correct.
than say, "Oh, I'm going to establish."
I want your
roots
root.
here."
Come back to these
Yeah.
roots. Why come back home?
Take those assets you have and bring them back to the
That's right.
home community.
And I'm doing my little part to be that.
Yeah.
For not just my children, but for everybody. Why Roswell? Because we really are fantastic. We
Mm-hmm.
are great. And what can we do as a community to say, you know what? Go sow your wild oats.
Right.
Go see the world. But then when you really want to come back and start your family, come to Roswell.
Yeah.
We have so much more to offer than a lot of other places.
Absolutely. Well,
and I'm talking from experience because I have experienced a lot of the country and a lot of the world.
I grew up in the East. I grew up in Maryland,
Roswell.
the D.C. area, and it's different than growing up here.
Yes.
It took me a while to get used to people saying hi to each other and all. Like you don't do that in D.C. You just don't randomly say hi to people in D.C. because they thinking, what do you want from me? What do you do? You know what I mean? That's, when we walk up and down the streets downtown here, and not everybody, but you're like, hey, how's it going? Hey,
People just wave at you driving down the street, and
that is foreign.
My kids are always like, "Who's that?" I don't know. It was just somebody being friendly.
That is foreign on the East Coast. New York City,
it's foreign in
DC,
a lot of
and big cities. Yeah, it's foreign.
I grew up just outside of Denver, and it was kind of the same thing. My town was a little more friendly, but Denver's not that way.
To live smart in those cities, you keep your head down and mind your business. And
that's right.
That's what you do. And
our cost of living is fantastic. You know, I've got friends that live in Denver, and we talk different things, and they go, "Oh my gosh, you live out in the country, you have land, you have a nice house." And for what I paid for that here in Roswell, I have friends that are living in condos that have literally 2 feet of grass on the side of their house, not even a front yard or a backyard, and they are happy to have that.
Oh, yeah. I know people back in those cities that, they live in 700 square feet and they pay $3,000 a month for it.
Exactly. And think about what $3,000 a month gets you here.
Yeah, exactly.
You're kind of living in a palace at that point.
Yeah, you're living in the Taj Mahal here at $3,000 a month. There you get 700 feet.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, it's a different world. It just is.
But if once again, I cannot stress enough today, 11:30, chat with Chaves County.
Yes.
We're going to have the finance director, the grant writer, as well as Bill Williams, our county manager. Come down 11:30.
Yeah,
we're going to have
if you'd like
hot,
to call an
fresh
RSVP this morning before, that would
you
don't have to.
You don't have to.
Just come on
show
down.
up.
Yeah.
575-623-5695. Come on down if you want to be a member. We'd love to have you be a member.
Absolutely.
If you've got an event in the area, contact us. We'd love to get it put out.
Absolutely.
And like I said, Happy New Year. We're ready to hit the ground running, and all of our programming starts back up today.
That's right. Happy 2024.
That's
get
right.
involved
Woohoo!
and get active here and be an active part in making your businesses grow.
That's right.
So good deal. Well, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
We will see you here in a couple weeks. And
all right.
Don't work too hard.
Never.
Yeah. Now
always.
I just tell people I work hard at not working hard. I work hard at trying to get out of it.
It depends on the day.
That's right. I kid, of course. All right. It is 9:51. Let's get you in the news. Quick break before they kick me off the radio. Don't go away.
Now, your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. The city of Artesia will hold a public meeting on January 8th at the Artesia Senior Center, 202 West Chisholm Avenue. The purpose of the meeting is to share updates on community programs. This is not a city council meeting. No policy decisions will be made or discussed. However, it's expected that several city council members will be in attendance. Therefore, since it's possible a quorum of the council members would be present, a public notice must be given. A Ruidoso resident has filed paperwork to challenge U.S. Representative Melanie Stansbury in November. 77-year-old Steve Jones, a retired energy executive and former certified public accountant, was once a write-in candidate for Congress. The filing on December 16th allows him to raise and spend money for a campaign for Congress in the state's 1st congressional district. Jones identified as an independent in the 2020 contest in District 2, but he's been a registered Republican since 1976. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Your morning cup of Sean. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
I would have signature verification. I would have chain of custody controls for any mail-in ballots. I would have updated voter rolls mandated by law, and I would have partisan observers in every precinct across the country. People get to watch the voting all day, and when the polls close, they get to watch the voting all night. But that's not the system we have. So my strong message, which has been a message now since 2021, is that you got to deal with the hand you're dealt, not the one that you wish you were dealt. We're not going to have paper ballots, same-day voting this year. It's not going to happen. So for all the Republicans out there and conservatives out there, if you want to fight City Hall and you want to stay stubborn, I think it's a bad idea.
The conservative underground meets later today on the Sean Hannity Show.
Does your current trophy wife want a life insurance policy 3 times the size of your previous mistakes? Relax and call Big Lou at Term Provider. Big Lou says if you're in your 50s, even a bit porky, a $1 million term life policy should only cost about $200 to $300 per month. Call Big Lou at 800-529-2856. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He likes trophies too. For affordable life insurance, call 800-529-2856.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Free.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're looking good today with high pressure over eastern New Mexico. We'll be in the upper 50s and we should get plenty of sunshine. Some clouds moving in for the overnight hours with low 30s, and then we could get a few showers on Thursday. Gusty wind around 35 miles an hour with a low moving through our area. Temperature will be in the mid 50s, and then we're back to sunny weather on Friday, low to mid 50s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Central Valley Electric is continually learning and advancing technology that improves electric service, reliability, and safety, and in turn enhancing the quality of life for members that we serve in our local communities. CVE offers an account management program called SmartHub that allows members to track their usage, set up convenient pay methods, and the ability to manage their energy use with smart technologies. A secure system such as SmartHub is an easy tool to use. To sign up, visit cvecoop.org and click SmartHub to get started.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. Wall Street opened lower again this morning, a day after markets kicked off the new year by giving back some of last year's big gains. Some of the market's steeper declines came from stocks that were last year's biggest winners. Apple lost 3.6% for its worst day in almost 5 months. Nvidia and Meta both fell more than 2%. Tesla, another member of the so-called Magnificent Seven, big tech stocks that drove well over half of Wall Street's returns last year, swung between losses and gains after reporting its deliveries and production for the end of 2024. Last year's rally carried the S&P 500 index through 9 straight weeks to finish out the year. The market surge came on hopes that the Federal Reserve may have managed to engineer a soft landing for the economy, hiking interest rates enough to slow inflation without bringing on a recession. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
Hey neighbors, there's a new source for all your appliance needs in the area. We're Roswell Appliance Outlet. We sell new minor scratch and dent appliances, and we'll help you save 40 to 60% off of MSRP. All come with warranty and personalized service. We also offer parts and service for your existing household appliances. We offer financing and delivery options as well. Don't make that big box store mistake. Come see us at Roswell Appliance Outlet today at 600 South Main in Roswell, or call 575-363-9236.
Roswell Appliance Outlet, a proud supporter of Roswell Sports.
Wakefield Oil Express has the highest quality service in Roswell, with a 17-point full-service oil change that includes a full wash and vacuum at their car wash. You won't find a better deal. They also offer full synthetic oil changes, fuel and cabin filter replacements, and will even check your battery. Their tunnel wash isn't afraid of dirty vehicles. They have the best value wash in town with free vacuums. They even offer wash passes that can be used for multiple vehicles. Next time you need your oil changed, go to the fast and efficient Wakefield Oil Express and let them earn your business. 3204 North Main, Roswell.
Oasis Computers has been Roswell's trusted source for home and small business computers for over 30 years, and they continue to be your best resource for computer repairs, operating system upgrades, web root managed antivirus, special orders, and more. Oasis Computers is now open from 8 to 1, Monday through Friday, to better serve you. Service calls by appointments and after-hour appointments are available too. Stop by Oasis Computers at 1703 North Garden or call or text 575-625-9141 for even faster service.
United States Deputy Sheriff's Association is a national nonprofit and America's largest non-governmental provider of services to law enforcement. USDSA assists city, county, state, and federal law enforcement agencies through our many varied programs, including free safety equipment donations, free officer survival training, cash donations, and condolence letters to the family of law enforcement officers who perished in the line of duty. USDSA also provides a citizen awareness program and thank you cards to law enforcement. These are just some of the ways United States Deputy Sheriff's Association assists America's law enforcement and the citizens they serve. For more information about United States Deputy Sheriff's Association or to see how you can help, please visit usdeputy.org. United States Deputy Sheriff's Association, taking training to the next level because lives are on the line.
Your home for Kim Commando in Roswell. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
And we're closing in on 10 o'clock. That's going to do it for us. If you missed any part of the show, go back to ksvptv.com. Click on the Mornings with Mike Winters channel. You'll find all of our interviews and shows there in its entirety, and they'll separate the interviews by themselves, so you can just watch those too if you'd rather. So ksvptv.com. Have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com.